Chapter 75. Phew. Sing Hui panted and sat down on the ground. Beside him, Blazing Glory screamed. Due to the excessive blood loss, he gradually became weak. Your Excellency Pak Hui, let me go. As long as you're willing to let me go, I'll agree to anything. I'm willing to be your subordinate. I'm willing to serve you. Blazing Glory's eyes were pleading. Your only way out is to sign the Chaos Oath. Sing Hui said. The Chaos Oath requires 50 Taoist rhymes. I don't have that many. Even if I want to sign the Chaos Oath, I'm powerless. Blazing Glory looked pitiful and sincere. Your Excellency Pak Hui, please believe me. As long as you let me go this time, I'm willing to swear to the heavens that from now on, I won't dare to be disloyal to your orders. I'll be at your beck and call, Your Excellency Pak Hui. Xing Su shook his head. You're a Class 8 son of Chaos. Even if you lose 5 levels of Chaos, you can still break the Oath of Chaos. Even if you swear the Oath of Chaos, I won't trust you completely. As a result, I'll be interrogating you for your method of chaos now. You know very well what happens to Sons of Chaos if they end up in the hands of others. Do you need to try and see if you can survive my interrogation? When Blazing Glory heard this, the fear in his eyes reached its peak. He couldn't help but say, no. Your Excellency Pak Hui, on account of the fact that we're both members of Dawn, give me a chance. I swear that from now on, if I dare to be disloyal to you, I'll be struck by lightning. Sing Hui didn't say anything. He raised his sword and was about to stab down at Blazing Glory's den. Wait. Your Excellency Pak Hui, please wait. I'm willing to submit to you. I remember now. Although I don't have 50 Taoist rhymes, I have a Chaos Oath. I'm willing to sign the Chaos Oath and serve Your Excellency Pak Hui from now on. Chaos Oath? The Chaos Oath was a special item. It was equivalent to an advanced version of the Chaos Oath. Unlike the Chaos Oath, which could only be signed between Sons of Chaos, the Chaos Oath could be signed in the form of an item. As for the method to obtain the Chaos Oath, let a Son of Chaos above the 10th level return to Chaos. Sing Hui's gaze landed on Yen Huang. Yen Huang hurriedly explained, the primal chaos inheritance I received was from a level 14 Eternal Life Stage 5 Green Netherworld Realm expert. He fought with another level 10 Son of Chaos who was also in the Green Netherworld realm until both sides were injured. In the end, I took advantage of the situation. You're willing to turn a 10th level Son of Chaos into a Chaos contract? Yen Huang smiled bitterly. That Son of Chaos injuries are too severe. His life is hanging by a thread, and he can't be saved. If I hadn't agreed to help him kill another level 14 Son of Chaos, I'm afraid I wouldn't even have been able to obtain this Chaos contract. Sing Hui looked at Yen Huang. Needless to say, the fortuitous encounters Xen Long obtained completely paled in comparison to him. Perhaps this was also the reason why Yen Huang was able to cultivate to the spirit-refining realm and even awaken the sacred beast's bloodline, while Xen Long was just an ordinary person. A level 8 Son of Chaos who had awakened the sacred beast's bloodline and cultivated holy grade astral chi. Sing Hui guessed that Yen Huang didn't want to violate the Chaos contract and be killed by the Chaos Temple to escape the pain of being tortured by him for the primal Chaos technique. Thinking of the threat you brought, he nodded slightly. Hand over the Chaos contract. Yen Huang didn't dare to hesitate and handed over the Chaos contract with great difficulty. His 4 limbs had been pierced by Sing Hui, but his level 2 recovery ability allowed him to move slightly in this short period of time. Sing Hui immediately wrote down his rights on the Chaos contract: absolutely loyal subject, never deceived, obey orders, and so on. Yen Huang looked at the contract one by one and finally raised his head with a bitter expression. Your Excellency Pak Hui, I only hope that you can take into account that we're both members of Dawn and add one more condition, which is to preserve my dignity. Living without dignity is no different from death. As long as you don't disobey my orders, I won't do anything that humiliates your dignity. Many thanks. Yen Huang lowered his head and finally signed his name. Following the signing, the Chaos contract suddenly ignited and turned into a flame, disappearing without a trace. Greetings, Master. Yen Huang immediately knelt down and bowed to Sing Hui. Tell me your true identity. This subordinate is the master of the overseas Lu Li Island. An overseas force? Xing Hui glanced at Yan Huang and nodded. On the mainland, the 10 great saint sects were the kings. But overseas, there were countless islands scattered all over. Strictly speaking, overseas could be divided into the inner sea and outer sea. The outer sea referred to the sea that was 100,000 kilometers away from the eastern wasteland coastline. There were many peak-level beasts, spirit beasts, sacred beasts, and even divine beasts. The inner sea referred to the sea that was 100,000 kilometers away from the coastline. Those that lived on these islands were basically experts that were suppressed by the 10 great saint sections. They had no choice but to go overseas to establish their sect. The overseas forces that people often talked about referred to the inner sea. Although there were many experts in these forces, and their numbers were as numerous as the stars in the sky, their quality was far from being comparable to the 10 great saint sections. Yan Huang, who was a spirit-refining realm cultivator, was definitely one of the overlords of the overseas. How did you find out my location? Xing Hui rested for a moment and asked. In fact, it is not difficult to find Master's location. I still remember the direction Master left in half a year ago. Coupled with the information I got from my Master, for cultivation, you naturally need a quiet and relatively safe place. Master's cultivation is in the awakening realm, so your range of activity can also be defined. Since you are cultivating and have been cultivating for half a year, the best place to live is naturally a cave. A cave is near a mountain, and living requires water. With these clues and layers of searching, you will naturally be able to find Master's location. Xing Hui did not expect that he would reveal so much information. It seemed that he would have to be careful in the future. This cave has collapsed, we can't stay here any longer. There is a small cave 10 kilometers away from here, let's go there first. Yan Huang respectfully responded, and the two quickly arrived at the new cave. Next, it was time to recuperate. Even though Qing Su seemed to be recovering faster than Blazing Glory, he still had not gained complete control over the Sword of Sun after all. In the final moment, he lost control of his power and exploded, so his internal injuries were even worse than Blazing Glory's. Even with the third step recovery ability, he still needed 10 whole days to recover. As Xing Hui's injuries recovered, he had a new understanding of the transformation of his blood, qi, and Zhen Qi because of the sacred art and the bloody battle with Yan Huang. Seeing that it was impossible to push his attributes to the 29th rank in a short period of time, coupled with the dangers of the battle with Yan Huang, he no longer hesitated. Protect me, Xing Hui ordered Yan Huang. After Yan Huang respectfully responded and returned to the cave entrance, the blood and qi in his body had already surged crazily. According to the Torch Sun Sutra's refining void and returning to reality method, it was constantly compressing towards his dantian. Changing void and reality, refining void and returning to reality. The rank 3 recovery ability gave him a strong physique, so he was not afraid of squeezing his potential. The blood and qi in his body surged and boiled compress, compress, and compress again. Condense, condense, and condense again. Finally, as the first blood and qi was completely condensed and turned into Zhen Qi, his whole body seemed to have caused a kind of quantitative change to a qualitative change. His blood and qi were all turned into Zhen Qi, wantonly surging in his meridians and acupoints. Zhen Qi, success. The moment the Zhen Qi was condensed, Xing Hui had already circulated one of them and condensed it at his fingertip. Feeling the blazing aura contained in this Zhen Qi, there was a trace of gratification in his eyes. Peerless grade. At least he did not destroy a good divine beast bloodline. In fact, the majestic blood and qi brought about by the 26th attribute was already enough for a cultivator to cultivate peerless grade Zhen Qi. It was just that Xing Hui only had an ordinary divine cannon in his hands. In order to ensure that nothing went wrong, he chose the 4th stage of liberation. Fortunately, the final result did not disappoint him. Congratulations, Master, on stepping into the realm of Zhen Qi and cultivating divine-grade Zhen Qi. Yan Huang, who was at the entrance of the cave, saw the extremely condensed Zhen Qi at Xing Hui's fingertip and immediately bowed to congratulate him. His eyes were filled with envy. As early as when Xing Hui defeated him with the help of the divine technique, he faintly sensed that Xing Hui had most likely awakened a divine beast bloodline. Now it seems it was indeed so. The realm of Zhenqi is only the second stage of immortal life. It is still very far from stepping into the realm of strong cultivators. Master has cultivated divine-grade Zhenqi. Once the Zhenqi is formed, I'm afraid it is enough to stand shoulder to shoulder with ordinary spirit-refining cultivators. If you use the divine technique at the crucial moment, you might even have the strength to fight against the overlords of the spirit and Qi unity realm who are qualified to be elders of the 10 great sections. Xing Hui shook his head. Which spirit and Qi unity realm cultivator did not have 1 or 2 rank 4 divine weapons? Perhaps if other factors were to be disregarded, he would not be afraid of those overlords of the spirit and Qi unity realm who had cultivated ordinary earth Qi. However, if he were to fight against the elders of the 10 great sects, he would still be lacking. Once the Zhenqi was formed, his cultivation would naturally be consolidated. Xing Hui followed the cultivation method of the Scarlet Yang Zhenqi in the Torch Sun Sutra. Every day, he swallowed the Sun True Essence at noon, continuously refining and polishing it, causing the Scarlet Yang Zhenqi to become more blazing and violent. Once the Scarlet Yang Zhenqi entered the body, not only would it burn like a raging fire, it could also be detonated with a thought, causing the target to be blasted into nothingness. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. After stabilizing his Zhenqi, Xing Hui walked out of the cave and took out the Tai sword. With a shake of the sword qi shot out. However, before this burst of sword qi could tear the ancient tree in front of him into pieces, his left arm had already reached out with his bare hands. Wrapped in crimson yang genuine qi, he actually used his flesh and blood to grab this fierce sword qi and crushed it in one fell swoop. After a moment, he casually flipped his hand and a rank 1 divine weapon from the Dragon Spring Mansion appeared in his hand. Zizi! As the Scarlet Yang Zhenqi surged out of his palm, this rank 1 divine weapon that could destroy metal like mud was actually burned into molten iron by the blazing power of the Scarlet Yang Zhenqi. The Scarlet Yang Zhenqi is really domineering. Xing Hui casually threw this divine weapon into his personal storage and glanced at his own attributes. Attack level 34, defense level 30, speed level 31, spirit level 45. Even though the Torch Dragon was a mysterious divine beast and would have mysterious and unfathomable powers in the later stages, under the influence of the Golden Crow divine beast's bloodline, his Zhenqi gradually showed signs of being biased. Fortunately, compared to the extreme speed-type divine beast Kuan Peng and the defensive-type divine beast Hun Dun, the bias of these 3 attributes was not too exaggerated. Chapter 76. I've already reached the true energy realm with the Illuminating Sun Sutra, but I haven't obtained the cultivation method of the Golden Crow bloodline. If I can activate the power of the Golden Crow bloodline and refine my true energy, with the power of the Sun Primordial Flame, I dare not say anything else, but my attack value will increase by at least 2 to 3 levels. Fortunately, the Illuminating Sun Sutra was relatively mysterious, peaceful, and not very aggressive. If he had cultivated the Golden Crow bloodline to the true energy realm, Xing Hui estimated that his Illuminating Dragon bloodline would have been devoured by the Golden Crow bloodline, and cultivating 2 bloodlines at the same time would have become a joke. I have to find a cultivation method of the Golden Crow bloodline as soon as possible. Compared to the mysterious Illuminating Dragon bloodline, the Golden Crow bloodline is easier to find. The most obvious target is the Jin Wu religion. The Jin Wu religion's ultimate cultivation method is the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, a godly cultivation method. Considering that he had used up all the resources he had prepared, Xing Hui said to Yan Huang, "Let's leave the Yunhuang mountain range." How much do you know about the Jin Wu religion? The Jin Wu religion is one of the 10 great holy clans. Although they don't have any saint-level figures who have reached the immortal stage 6, this sect has a very deep foundation. Furthermore, I can be sure that this sect definitely has a level 10 Son of Chaos who has reached the immortal stage 6. Yan Huang said, "Immortal stage 6, level 10 Son of Chaos." There was no need to elaborate on what this combination meant. In fact, The reason why the sacred grounds are called sacred grounds is because they have saints in their sections. For example, the Wanxiang City, the Heavenly Medicine Alliance, and the Alchemy Valley also have Immortality Level 6 experts. They are independent of the 10 great sacred clans, but they still have to endure the exploitation of the 10 great sacred clans because their sects do not have Immortality Level 6 experts. Xing Hui had heard of Wanxiang City, Heavenly Medicine Alliance, and Alchemy Valley. They were famous top forces in the Eastern Wilderness, second only to the 10 great holy clans. I want to obtain the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. Do you have a way? The Sun Golden Crow skill is the most important skill of the Jin Wu religion. Usually, only the disciples of the hierarch, the deputy hierarch, and the Dharma king are qualified to practice it. As for the ordinary disciples, they don't even think about it. Even the disciples of the hierarch and the Dharma king are only taught one level at a time. They will never teach them all the cultivation skills of the 6 realms of immortality in one go. Every person who is qualified to practice the Sun Golden Crow skill must have awakened the bloodline of the top sacred beasts. Only in this way can the cultivation of the Sun Golden Crow skill not waste resources. Amulet? Seal one's true chi and earth chi in the jade talisman and use it to defend at the crucial moment? It's not that simple. Master should know that the true chi and earth chi of the spirit chi unite realm have spirituality. They can defend and attack on their own. However, due to the distance and the quality of the jade talisman, the spirituality of the true chi is only comparable to that of a spirit refining realm cultivator. But in the Qingming realm, after comprehending the intersection of heaven and man, the remaining true chi in the jade talisman can absorb the energy of heaven and earth to replenish itself. Depending on the quality of the jade talisman, it can even simulate 1/10 of the power of the talisman maker. In other words, if a peak Qingming realm cultivator makes a talisman, the power it can unleash is equivalent to that of an initial stage Qingming realm cultivator. Initial stage Qingming realm, the power in the jade talisman can only unleash a single attack. Even the Dharma king, the deputy hierarch, and the deputy hierarch of the 10 great holy clans, as their cultivation increases, their divine beast bloodline may only be able to cultivate high-grade true chi, and the high-grade true chi will fall to mid-grade earth chi by the time they reach the Qingming realm. Less than 1/10 of them can maintain the might of the sacred beasts. But even so, even 1/10 of their power was still far from something he could block with his current strength. Either he can obtain a rank 6 defensive armor, or he can step into the spirit refining realm with divine grade earth chi, and with the help of the sacred technique, although the Torch Sun Sutra is relatively mild, once he breaks through to the spirit refining realm, the 2 suns will lose balance and will inevitably devour the Golden Crow. Does Lu Li Island have spies in the Jin Wu religion? The overseas forces have many spies in the 10 great holy clans, in case the 10 great holy clans make a move. Yen Huang carefully asked, "Does Master want to find a suitable target?" "That's right." Xing Hui nodded. "Let the spies in the Jin Wu religion find a suitable person. This is easy, there will be news soon." Xing Hui's gaze fell on Yen Huang. "You have obtained the inheritance of 2 Qingming realm experts, so you should have a lot of good things on you. I need a divine weapon, take it out." Yen Huang had already made similar preparations in his heart, and immediately said, "One of the 2 Qingming realm experts I obtained is a sword user, but I did not open my personal space, and I left all those precious things in a secret place overseas. If Master needs them, I'm afraid you'll have to follow me overseas." "You did not open your personal space. How did you arrange this rank 8 Son of Primal Chaos?" "I have a rank 2 recovery characteristic, rank 4 comprehension, rank 1 fist art talent, and rank 1 advanced technique." "Rank for comprehension?" Xing Hui did not expect Yen Huang to put half of his points into comprehension. "My original plan was to be good at everything, so I chose to focus on comprehension. The recovery characteristic was because I was injured too heavily and was afraid of leaving behind hidden injuries, so I had no choice but to raise it to rank 2. If not for that, I am afraid that my comprehension would have reached rank 5. Yen Huang's words made Xing Hui nod secretly. As a rank 15 Son of Primal Chaos, many things seem to be a waste. For example, divine skill and rank advancement skill, there was no need for rank 2 divine skill and rank 1 advancement skill. The 2 chaos ranks that were freed up could be used on his comprehension and talent in swordsmanship. Unfortunately, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Alright, then let's go overseas, but before that, let's go to Eastern Cloud Capital. Yes. Immediately, the two of them flew up and headed out of the desolate Cloud Mountain range. After running for a while, he seemed to have thought of something, and said to Yan Huang, "Go at full speed, we will meet at the east gate of Eastern Cloud Capital." With that, he pointed his finger, and the Qingxian sword whistled out. As Tsing Hui leaped, he stepped onto the Qingxian sword, which had recovered its spirituality. Then, he activated his true qi and accelerated at full speed, piercing through the clouds and into the Qingming realm. Seeing this, Yan Huang's eyes were filled with envy. He had obtained the treasures left behind by the two Qingming realm experts, but their flying swords were damaged. In addition, flying swords were precious, so he had not been able to buy them until now. Rumble. The air exploded, and Tsing Hui's sword kinesis flight broke the sound barrier. 350 km per hour, 360 km per hour, 380 km per hour, 400 km per hour, 420 km per hour. Cultivating true qi and not cultivating true qi were two different concepts. The sword kinesis flight, which could only reach 300 km per hour, was easily broken by him, reaching 450 km per hour, flying at supersonic speed. Under normal circumstances, he could even maintain a speed between 300 km per hour to 350 km per hour. It was not an exaggeration to say that this speed was as fast as lightning. Tsing Hui soared through the sky with his sword kinesis flight, crossing the sea of clouds. Looking at the blazing sun above his head, an unprecedented sense of pride welled up in his heart. Compared to heaven and earth, the lives of humans were too insignificant. However, there would be a day when he would conquer the entire heaven and earth bit by bit, step by step, and see clearly what this heaven and earth, this world, was like. Just as Tsing Hui soared through the sky with his sword kinesis flight, a violent roar came from afar, as if exploding at the end of the sky. Tsing Hui looked as far as his eyes could see, and saw 4 flying ships engaged in a fierce exchange of fire in the void more than 10 kilometers away. Blazing cannonballs were fired from 3 flying ships. No. It should be a warship. Moreover, this was a 2-on-1 battle. Cannonballs and energy cannons were fired from 2 of the warships, hitting the body of the warship and exploding. Even though the warship tried its best to defend and dodge, it was still on the verge of collapse. A large amount of flames and smoke filled the warship, as if it would completely disintegrate in the void and fall to the ground in the next moment. This kind of aerial battle, which was similar to that of the 19th century on Earth, aroused Tsing Hui's curiosity. He could not help but soar into the sky and watch from afar. However, when he saw the familiar flag hanging on the battleship that was being surrounded, his heart skipped a beat. That flag, it seemed to be the flag of Dragon Chant Island. And the owner of Divine Armament Tower, Xen Long. He was from Dragon Chant Island. Dragon Chant Island's warship has appeared here, considering that Xen Long had been cautious and conscientious in handling matters for him during this period. Tsing Hui immediately mounted his sword and rapidly flew toward the 3 warships. As his figure approached, 2 of the warships clearly sensed his presence. Immediately, someone on the deck waved a flag and asked him to temporarily avoid them. A person who could use a flying sword must have an extraordinary background. However, Tsing Hui came to save Dragon Chant Island's warship, so he naturally ignored them and landed on one of the warships. Then, the Tai sword vibrated, and before the 3 experts of the genuine energy realm could speak, it had already shot toward them. Damn it! The leading experts of the genuine energy realm roared angrily, and similarly shot out sword qi and held their divine weapons in a futile attempt to counterattack. However, in front of Tsing Hui's Crimson Yang genuine energy, the sword qi they shot out was like tofu, and was easily defeated. The sword qi that burst out continued to shoot toward the expert of the genuine energy realm. What a tyrannical genuine energy! That expert of the genuine energy realm reacted quickly, and his genuine energy burst forth at the first moment, blocking with his sword. However, divine-grade genuine energy was much stronger than ordinary genuine energy. Even though that expert of the genuine energy realm made a defensive posture with his sword, he was still instantly pierced through by the crimson yang genuine energy and died on the spot. This scene fell into the eyes of the remaining 2 experts of the genuine energy realm and made them widen their eyes. This power, could it be the Golden Crow genuine energy? You're from the Jin Wu religion. Sir, from the Jin Wu religion? Our Black Dragon Gang has no enmity with the Jin Wu religion. Why do you want to kill us? A knowledgeable expert of the genuine energy realm couldn't help but cry out in horror. Black Dragon Gang? It seemed to be a mercenary organization. Xing Hui didn't answer. Sword chi shot out in all directions, and in an instant, all 3 experts of the genuine energy realm were killed. Then he killed his way into the interior of the warship and destroyed the warship's power system, causing the warship to rapidly fall to the ground. After destroying this warship, Xing Hui turned around, rose on his sword again, and shot toward another warship. Chapter 77. Oh no, he's coming. Crossbows. Fire. Fire. When they saw Qing Su fly over, the 2 true Qi cultivators on the other battleship immediately cried out as they understood that Qing Su had come with ill intentions. A large number of arrows and ballistae shot out from the battleship, forming a small dark cloud that enveloped the area. In the face of these powerful arrows that could penetrate iron armor, Xing Hui pressed his hand down. A blazing true energy turned into 4 fiery red sword Qis in front of him, constantly strangling him. All the arrows that were shot at him were shattered before they could come within 1 meter of him. Withstanding the rain of arrows, he directly landed on the warship and immediately rushed to the true energy realm leader. Our Black Dragon Gang was invited by Hunyuan Heaven Sect's Fairy by you to do something. You, a disciple of the Jin Wu religion, dared to go against a true disciple of Hunyuan Heaven Sect in the territory of Hunyuan Heaven Sect. Fairy Bai Yu will never let you go. The true energy realm leader knew that he was no match for Xing Hui, so he immediately shouted fiercely. Bai Yu? You're courting death. Xing Hui's expression turned cold. The next moment his figure suddenly pounced. Red Yang true energy erupted. No matter how hard the true energy realm expert tried to resist, he was still penetrated by the overbearing and blazing red yang true energy and died on the spot. Then, under the miserable screams of the other members of the Black Dragon Gang on the warship, he did the same thing and once again killed his way to the power system. He destroyed the power system of the warship and let it fall to the ground. After doing all this, Xing Hui flew up on his sword again and landed on the warship with the flag of Dragon Chant Island. As soon as Xing Hui arrived, the 4 Awakening Realm experts on the warship came up to him at the same time and respectfully saluted. Thank you for your help, sir. Dragon Chant Island is very grateful. After saluting Xing Hui, one of the Awakening Realm experts seemed to recognize him and cautiously asked in surprise, Sir, are you Prince Xing Hui? Xing Hui's gaze landed on the Awakening Realm cultivator. This Awakening Realm cultivator was not young, but he had an extraordinary temperament. After noticing Xing Hui's gaze, he quickly introduced himself. I'm Jing Yun, one of Miss Nalin's followers. I'm Xing Hui. Xing Hui responded. Under the surprised gazes of the 4, he turned his gaze to the remaining 3 Awakening Realm cultivators. After noticing that one of them was 60% similar to Xen Long, he asked, Are you the island master of Dragon Chant Island, Long Xiao? That's me. My son has already met Prince Xing Hui. Long Xiao bowed respectfully to Xing Hui. Not because of the kinship between Xing Hui and Nalin Fei, but because of Xing Hui's powerful strength when he easily killed his way into the 2 battleships and destroyed the 2 battleships despite the presence of several true Qi experts. How did Dragon Chant Island get together with Aunt Nalin's people? Long Xiao and Jing Yun looked at each other. In the end, Jing Yun stepped forward and said, Prince Xing Hui should have been cultivating in the wilderness for the past few months. He should not have stepped into any of the 9 great nations of Eastern Cloud, right? That's right. Hearing Xing Hui's words, Jing Yun glanced at him and said with a wry smile, This matter started 8 months ago. 8 months ago, Prince Xing Hui killed Fairy Bai Yu's sister, young Master Long Quan, causing Fairy Bayou to be furious and almost go crazy. She actually brought people to the Lorraine Kingdom and planned to massacre the Cloud Desolate City. Sing Hui's expression turned slightly cold. Even though he didn't have much feelings for the Zhou family of Cloud Desolate City, this body was still obtained from Chou Tsinghui, and Chou Tsinghui was a member of the Zhou family. He naturally couldn't just watch as the Zhou family was destroyed. Moreover, Fairy Bayou wanted to massacre the Cloud Desolate City, so what did this have to do with him? And then, what happened to the Zhou family of Cloud Desolate City? Fortunately, Princess Lan Yu understood the seriousness of the matter after young Master Long Quan died and immediately informed Miss Naylan of the matter. Miss Naylan knew Fairy Bayou's character and led people to chase after her. Before Fairy Bayou was about to massacre the Cloud Desolate City, she stopped her crazy actions. At this point, Jing Yun paused for a moment, and with a trace of resentment, he continued, "At that time, Miss Naylan and Fairy Bayou had a great battle. Although Fairy Bayou had already stepped into the spirit refining realm, she could only condense a mid-grade spirit rank aura chi. Even though she had been in the spirit refining realm for many years, she was still not Miss Naylan's opponent and was defeated by Miss Naylan. However, because of this battle, Fairy Bayou completely shed all pretense of cordiality. He dealt with all the forces related to me?" Sing Hui glanced at Long Xiao. "Is Dragon Chant Island also included?" "Very good." Sing Hui asked, "Where is she now?" Jing Yun was slightly startled and had a bad premonition. "Prince Tsing Hui, what are you going to do?" "Prince Tsing Hui, what you need to do now is to go to the Lorraine Kingdom as soon as possible. Currently, Miss Naylan has brought everyone to the Lorraine Kingdom and is personally overseeing the battle with Fairy Bayou." Long Xiao echoed from the side. The 5 True Chi realm experts of the Black Dragon Guild were instructed by Fairy Bayou to destroy our Dragon Chant Island. Fortunately, Mr. Jing Yun led a few experts to come to our aid at the critical moment. Otherwise, I'm afraid our Dragon Chant Island would have been flooded with blood. At this point, he quickly added, "Of course, we have to thank Prince Tsing Hui for taking action. If not for Prince Tsing Hui, even if we could escape Dragon Chant Island, under the pursuit of the Black Dragon Guild's 2 warships, it would be difficult to escape the fate of death." "Lorraine Kingdom?" Tsing Hui turned to Jing Yun. "Auntie Naylan can't do anything to Bayou?" Although Bayou is powerful and has as many experts as the clouds under her, Miss Naylan's Saint-grade aura chi is extremely fierce. Ordinary spirit refining experts are no match for her. If it were a life and death battle, Miss Naylan could kill her by decapitation. However, the 2 of them are Hunyuan Heaven Sect's true disciples after all. Moreover, they have cultivated to the spirit refining realm, which is enough to represent Hunyuan Heaven Sect's face. If they were to abandon everything and fight to the death, what would it be? Wouldn't it be a joke to the other forces in the world? Therefore, Peak Master Yuan Kong has said that Miss Naylan and Bayou cannot directly take action and can only let their subordinates fight to the death. The time limit is 1 year. After 1 year, regardless of the result, the grudges between the 2 will be written off. Letting his subordinates fight to the death, Hunyuan Heaven Sect's Peak Master Yuan Kong is obviously on Bayou's side. Although Naylan Fei has stepped into the spirit refining realm and cultivated Saint-grade aura chi, she has just stepped into the spirit refining realm and has yet to manage her own forces. Her subordinates are most likely in the awakening realm and true chi realm. Being able to recruit 1 or 2 spirit refining realm cultivators is the limit. But Bayou, not to mention that she has stepped into the spirit refining realm for many years, she has always been the Peak Master Yuan Kong's right-hand man. She can often borrow the Peak Master Yuan Kong's name to intimidate others. The forces she can recruit are far from what Naylan Fei can compare to. Just like the Black Dragon Society, 5 True Chi realm cultivators, this force is enough to threaten the Luo Lin royal family's rule. Fairy Bayou has followed Sky Origin Peak Lord for dozens of years and has always been loyal to him. Even if Sky Origin Peak Lord is biased towards her, he can't do anything about it. Fortunately, Miss Naylan is not without any power behind her. This time, in order to protect the Zhou family, Miss Naylan specially invited 3 spirit refining elders from the Naylan family. These 3 elders are stationed in the Luo Lin capital. As long as we can escape back to the capital, Fairy Bayou's people will not dare to take another step forward. As Jing Yun spoke, he turned to Tsing Hui and said, "The one Fairy Bayou wants to kill the most is you, Prince Tsing Hui. Once Prince Tsing Hui is exposed, Bayou will definitely take revenge. Thus, for the sake of safety, we should return to the Luo Lin royal capital as soon as possible." Luo Lin royal capital, Bayou is a direct disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. Nayland Fei is also a member of the Hunyuan Heaven sect and is also under the peak master Yuankong's control. Bayou cannot kill her. But Nayland Fei cannot, but he, Tsing Hui, can. However, killing Long Quan had led to trouble like Bayou. If killing Bayou led to even greater trouble, even involving the Zhua family of Cloud Desolate City, Qing Su would feel rather apologetic. He still had to ask about it first. "I'll go see Auntie Naylin." Prince Tsing Hui should indeed return immediately to avoid causing more trouble. "We should hurry to the Luo Lin royal capital," Jing Yun said. Tsing Hui glanced at Jing Yun. He could see the dissatisfaction in the heart of this follower of Nayland Fei. He reckoned that it wasn't just him. After causing such a big trouble, it was reckoned that everyone under Nayland Fei's tutelage had complaints about him. The group boarded the warship and headed straight for the Luo Lin royal capital. On the way to the Luo Lin royal capital, Tsing Hui sent a portion of his consciousness into the Chaos Temple and found Yen Huang, who was inquiring about the Jinwu religion's whereabouts through the Heaven's secret pavilion. Seeing Tsing Hui, Yen Huang followed his previous instructions and nodded on the surface before continuing to talk with Heaven's Inquisition. After the two finished talking, they found Tsing Hui again. The two left Ling Yu's personal space, and then Tsing Hui used the power of his personal space to pull Yen Huang into his personal space. "I haven't set up the space yet. Do as you wish," Tsing Hui said. Yen Huang looked around with envy. "The personal space is indeed very convenient. Unfortunately, I didn't understand the importance of the personal space and didn't point it out." "You're heading to the Eastern Cloud Royal Capital now?" "Don't wait for me when you reach the Eastern Cloud Royal Capital. Take the flying ship directly to the Luo Lin Royal Capital." Yen Huang didn't understand, but he didn't dare to go against Tsing Hui's words. "Yes." "Did you just inquire about the Jinwu religion?" "Yes, in the Golden Crow sect, there are a total of 13 people who have cultivated the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. Of course, this is the data that we have inquired about. For a sect like this, there are bound to be hidden experts among the 13. There are 6 who have cultivated the third layer technique and 3 who are not. If Master needs the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, these 3 can be our targets." "Tell me." "These 3 are the disciple of the Jinwu religion's vice leader Luo Rieo, Xian Yan, the daughter of Burning Heaven Dharma King Lai Ji, Lai Wuyang, and one of the 6 disciples of the Jinwu religion's leader Zhu Xian, Qi Wu." Vice leader, Dharma King, leader. Needless to say, the vice leader and Dharma King were the top figures in the Immortal Realm 5. As for the leader Zhu Xian, he was definitely at the peak of the Immortal Realm 6. This was common knowledge. If one wasn't at the peak of the Immortal Realm, one wouldn't be qualified to be the leader of the 10 sacred sections. Excluding the leader's disciple Qi Wu, the target is either Xian Yan or Lai Wuyang. Gather information on them, the more detailed the better. Chapter 78. The Lorraine Royal Capital. At this time, the Lorraine Royal Capital could be described as turbulent. Not to mention the second-class forces such as Ying Yuan, the Cloud Forest House, and the Beast Hunters Union. Even the Lorraine royal family restrained their sharpness and reprimanded their children not to wantonly show off in the royal capital. The entire royal capital was shrouded in an oppressive atmosphere because of the battle between Nayland Fei and Fairy Bayou. The city gates, the airport, and the main streets were filled with the subordinates, spies of the 2 Hunyuan Heaven sect true disciples. Awakening stage and True Qi stage experts shuttled back and forth in the royal capital, looking for opportunities to weaken their opponents. At this moment, the 2 Hunyuan Heaven sect true disciples exerted their influence to the extreme. Even if only the tip of the iceberg was revealed, it was enough to make many princes and first-class forces of the Lorraine kingdom tremble with fear. Under such circumstances, the severely damaged warship Tsing Hui, Long Shao, Jing Yun, and the others landed in the airport of the Lorraine royal capital and naturally attracted everyone's attention. Are they from Dragon Chant Island? A small force like Dragon Chant Island dares to intervene in a battle of this level. Aren't they afraid of being crushed to pieces? It's not up to them. The son of Dragon Chant Island's master, Long Shao, has sided with Cho Tsing Hui, and Cho Tsing Hui is the target that Fairy Bayou wants to kill the most. Cho Tsing Hui caused a disaster and directly fled like a tortoise, leaving all the trouble to Miss Naylan and his friends. Fairy Bayou can't catch him, so she can only vent her anger on the people related to him. Hey, as early as when Cho Tsing Hui was in the royal capital, I saw that Cho Tsing Hui was simply a troublemaker. The Beast Hunters Union and the Third Prince's residence were the same. Now that he provoked someone he can't afford to offend, I'd like to see how he's going to deal with it. What do you mean he's going to deal with it? He's going to continue to be a tortoise. Hasn't he been hiding for more than half a year? I think he's going to keep hiding. Isn't that so? Watching the warship belonging to Dragon Chant Island descend, many forces who were waiting to watch a good show began to discuss among themselves. Some of the spectators belonged to the local forces of the Lorraine Kingdom, but there were also many spies representing other true disciples of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. There were even spies from other sacred sects who specialized in collecting information about the Hunyuan Heaven sect's true disciples. These people were well informed. In the past half a year, they had already thoroughly investigated the grudges between the two true disciples of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. Right then, an expert of the Union of Demon Hunters, who had been paying attention to the passers-by in the airport, suddenly widened his eyes. Looking at Tsing Hui, who was walking to the airport side by side with Long Shao, Jing Yun, and the other Awakening Realm experts, he exclaimed, "That's Cho Tsing Hui. It's Cho Tsing Hui. It's really Cho Tsing Hui. I've seen him before. He actually appeared? Cho Tsing Hui. It's really him." It said that Cho Tsing Hui's cultivation is only in the Awakening Realm, and it hasn't been long since he awakened, but Bayou offered a rank 4 divine weapon as a reward for killing him. Many spirit-refining realm rogue cultivators and giant demons are searching for his whereabouts, vainly trying to kill him and obtain the reward. Amidst the exclamations, everyone's gaze fell on Tsing Hui at the same time. Among them, a few old men with true Qi realm cultivation were even brighter. While staring at Tsing Hui, their gazes constantly scanned the surroundings, as if they were about to attack and kill Tsing Hui. However, at this time, a group of people who had already received the news quickly greeted Long Shao, Jing Yun, Tsing Hui, and the others. The leader had reached the advanced stage of the True Qi realm. Cho Tsing Hui? The advanced stage True Qi realm old man looked at Tsing Hui with some repulsion. After seeing that he seemed to have reached the True Qi realm, a faint trace of surprise flashed across his face. He nodded and said in a deep voice, "Young miss is waiting for you in the courtyard. Follow us." This brat is Cho Tsing Hui? A guy who only knows how to stir up trouble. Behind the old man, a relatively young man directly vented his dissatisfaction and said sternly, "Do you know how many losses we've suffered because of you, you young? Shut up." The old man reprimanded the young man. Perhaps Tsing Hui's ability to stir up trouble is extraordinary, but he has a talent that is worth young miss trying her best to protect. After hearing the old man's words, Yu Yang seemed to have seen Tsing Hui's cultivation clearly. He immediately revealed a shocked expression. You've cultivated true Qi? How is that possible? Didn't you just reach the Awakening Realm half a year ago? True Qi? Hearing Yu Yang's words, the other experts who were also scowling at Tsing Hui also revealed shocked expressions. Not only has young Master Qing Su cultivated true Qi, but when we were surrounded by the 5 true Qi experts of the Black Dragon Guild, he even flew on his sword and killed his way into 2 of their battleships. He killed all of their 5-colored dragon kings and saved our lives, Qing Su said with a smile. Jing Yun said in a deep voice. Hiss. 5-colored dragon kings? The 5-colored dragon kings of the Black Dragon Guild are all true Qi realm experts. He actually killed all 5 of them by himself? How is that possible? Didn't you hear that he flew on his sword? It can be seen that he must have all kinds of divine weapons in his hands, but divine weapons have always been a part of his strength. Even if Cho Tsing-hui relied on divine weapons to kill the 5 True Chi realm experts, this kind of achievement is still comparable to most of the veteran True Chi realm experts. This world had always been one where the strong reigned supreme. After learning that Ching Su was a true Chi cultivator, the voices of these people had already quieted down. After learning from Jing Yun that Ching Su had actually killed 5 true Chi cultivators of the Black Dragon Association with a single stroke of his sword, their gazes towards him had completely changed. They no longer treated him coldly like before. The old man glanced at the many experts around and whispered, "Let's leave here first and go to Miss Courtyard." Immediately, the group quickly left. Although there were many True Chi realm experts peeping at them on the way, their lineup was too strong. 4 True Chi realm experts and 6 Awakening realm experts, a total of 10 people. Ordinary True Chi realm experts would not dare to act rashly if they were not confident. As for those spirit refining realm cultivators, they did not react at all because Tsing Hui came in a hurry. Along the way, the group safely stepped into Nayland Fei's courtyard. There are really a lot of monsters and monsters. Long Xiao sighed. Along the way, he was really trembling with fear. Some of these people are Fairy Bai Yu's subordinates, but most of them were attracted by Fairy Bai Yu's bounty. After all, a Tier 4 divine weapon is too attractive to spirit-refining cultivators. If not for the fact that non-Huanyuan Heaven Sect Spirit Chi Unity cultivators would be given special treatment upon entering Huanyuan Heaven Sect's territory, even Spirit Chi Unity cultivators would not be able to resist taking action. The old man in the lead said, "Are there any experts?" Tsing Hui asked. Of course, there are experts. However, the ones that can be said to be the greatest threat to Miss and all of us are the 6 spirit-refining realm experts. Tell me. The old man glanced at Tsing Hui and said in a deep voice, "The 6 spirit-refining realm experts are Music Sage Chao Zhendao, Flying Deity Bat Yi Shui Han, Sly Assassin Tu Ying, Mirror Immortal Wang Zhe, Poison Gentleman Tong Buping, and God-Beheading Sword Sidu Qiushui." Among these 6, Music Sage Chao Zhendao and Mirror Immortal Wang Zhe are Fairy Bai Yu's direct subordinates. The other 4 were attracted by the rank 4 divine weapon. 6 spirit-refining realm experts. Who would have thought that the battle between Nayland Fei and Fairy Bai Yu would involve so many spirit-refining realm experts? In fact, this is not all. Fairy Bai Yu herself and 2 other spirit-refining realm experts under her, Scarlet Flame Fairy Zhang Shui and Dragon Monarch Zhang Jiuxiao. These 2 are the reason why Fairy Bai Yu dares to fight Miss Nayland. Dragon Monarch Zhang Jiuxiao is a peak cultivator who has awakened the White Tiger's bloodline. Although he did not manage to condense holy grade aura chi, under constant polishing, his aura chi is at the peak of spirit grade. As for Scarlet Flame Fairy Zhang Shui, she is a famous cultivator who has been immersed in the spirit-refining realm for many years. In the past few decades, the number of spirit-refining cultivators who died in her hands is no less than 10. Countless fresh blood accumulated to form the name Scarlet Flame Fairy. Tsing Hui nodded. Thinking about it, after killing Scarlet Flame Fairy, Dragon Monarch, Mirror Immortal, and Music Sage, Bai Yu would be like a tiger without its teeth. Even if she had more True Chi experts under her, she would not be able to be arrogant anymore. If this still could not solve the problem once and for all, it was no wonder that he killed Fairy Bai Yu. That is Cho Tsing Hui? Cho Tsing Hui. That troublemaker. Damn it, if not for him, our Zhou family would not have fallen to such a state. Not only do we have to be on guard against assassins, we don't even dare to step out of the door. Once we do, we will undoubtedly die? Shu, lower your voice. I heard that Cho Tsing Hui obtained some kind of opportunity and actually awakened his bloodline and stepped into the immortal realm. If he hears you, you are finished. As Tsing Hui's group stepped into the courtyard, many Zhou family members of Cloud Desolate City sized him up, their gazes faintly carrying resentment, fear, and jealousy. However, Tsing Hui did not pay them any attention. He had no feelings for the Zhou family. If he had to talk about feelings, it was at most the karma owed by Cho Tsing Hui's body. Thus, other than Cho Tsing Hui's immediate family, he turned a blind eye to the gazes of others. Tsing Hui. At this moment, a pleasantly surprised shout was heard. Zhui Yunqing, who had reached the blood-changing stage, happily welcomed him. Tsing Hui nodded at her. Have you been all right all this time? Did Bai Yu's subordinates find you? Miss Yunqing, Miss Nailin is waiting for Prince Tsing Hui. Please, an old man reminded her in a low voice. Oh, yes. Tsing Hui, let's go see Aunt Nailin. Zhui Yunqing impatiently pulled Tsing Hui into the inner courtyard. But just as they were about to step into the inner courtyard, an old man exuding a faint pressure stepped out of the courtyard and coldly stared at Tsing Hui. You are that Cho Tsing Hui who doesn't know what's good for him and dares to look down on even the Hunyuan Heaven sect's true disciples? Chapter 79. Elder Nailin Sheng. Seeing this person, the old man in charge of leading the way hurriedly bowed respectfully. At the same time, he introduced for Tsing Hui, this is Nailin Sheng, an elder from the Nailin family like Miss Nailin. After speaking, he hurriedly introduced for Nailin Sheng, Elder Nailin, this is indeed Prince Tsing Hui. However, although Prince Tsing Hui is a little impulsive, his cultivation talent does allow him to disregard the ordinary true disciples of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. At the very least, the so-called young Master Long Quan is far from being comparable to Prince Tsing Hui. When Nailin Sheng heard what the old man had said, he immediately stared at Ching Su and studied him closely. When he saw that he actually possessed true qi, he was immediately shocked. Why, you've actually cultivated true qi? Weren't you just a mortal at the marrow cleansing stage 2 years ago? How could you cultivate to the second stage of the immortality stage in just 2 years? Prince Tsing Hui is extremely talented, otherwise Miss Nailin wouldn't value him so much. She even asked for a disciple token that can directly enter the inner sect of the Hunyuan Heaven sect for him. Moreover, Prince Tsing Hui is not an ordinary true qi stage expert. Not long ago, Prince Tsing Hui fought the 5-colored Dragon King of the Black Dragon Gang alone and wiped out the 5 true qi stage experts under Bai Yu. The old man repeated what he had heard from Jing Yun. For a moment, Nailin Sheng's gaze suddenly fell on him, his eyes flashing. Bai Lanxing, is what you said true? I secretly asked the other followers on the warship, and it's absolutely true. Bai Lanxing lowered his head slightly. Nailin Sheng understood Bai Lanxing's character. He knew that he would not make empty promises. Immediately, his cold gaze changed drastically. In order to resolve the awkwardness from before, he forced out a laugh. Young man, if you don't have any ability and only know how to rely on others, you'll only be seeking your own death if you act recklessly. However, if you're brimming with talent, you obviously shouldn't stick to one pattern and do what others can't. What's a single jasper worth? Others might be afraid of her, but my Nailin family isn't. Come, nephew Ching Su, follow me into the courtyard. Tsing Hui looked at Nailin Sheng. He didn't expect a person's attitude to change so quickly, and he even acted as if it was a matter of course. Elder Nailin Sheng, Mrs. still waiting for Prince Tsing Hui. Oh, I forgot about this matter. He just came back, so there are many things he doesn't understand. He really needs to see Feng. Nailin Sheng no longer insisted, instead turning to Tsing Hui and saying in a forthright tone, Tsing Hui, you can rest assured that with our Nailin family here, you won't be able to play any tricks. As for your Zhou family, you can also rest assured that the masters of my Nailin family will not let any harm come to them. Considering that the Nailin family had indeed contributed a lot in the past half a year, and Cho Tsing Hui's body had given him a new lease of life, Tsing Hui nodded slightly, many thanks. No need to be polite, our Nailin family and your Zhou family are so fated, perhaps we were a family in our previous lives. Since we are family, there is no need to be so polite. As Nailin Sheng spoke, he waved his hand, and Bai Lanxing immediately withdrew, leading Tsing Hui and Zhui Yunqing into the inner courtyard. When the group stepped into the inner courtyard, Nailin Sheng made Yu Yang and Jing Yun stay behind with a glance, and said solemnly, tell me the specific details of how Tsing Hui defeated the Black Dragon Gang's Pentashade Dragon King. Nailin Fei, there was a vague image of her in Cho Tsing Hui's memories. In terms of appearance, neither Princess Lan Yu nor Wu Yuyao could compare to her, especially the lonely snowy lotus aura that she carried, giving people a kind of elegant and refined beauty. Looking at her, it seemed that there was a kind of magic that could cleanse the soul, completely brushing away all the dust on one's body, making one's heart calm and trust in her. That kind of aura. It made Tsing Hui faintly think of a peak warrior in the world of earth that he once saw from afar, Holy Buddha Mijia. Auntie, Tsing Hui is here, he's fine. Zhu Yunqing saw the woman in white in the hall, who seemed to be unfazed even if the sky collapsed, and immediately went forward with joy. Tsing Hui. Nailan Fei looked at Tsing Hui. This was the first time she saw Tsing Hui in person in several years. She looked at Tsing Hui for a while, then smiled slightly. A few years ago, I saw you as a little brat who only knew how to follow behind Arashir Yudo. I didn't expect that in just a few years, you would become so elegant. You don't have to worry about Biyu's matter, I understand the cause and effect of the whole matter. Long Quan didn't know what was good for him and was killed by you, so he deserved it. Leave the rest to me. This matter started because of me, I can't turn a blind eye to it. Oh? Nailan Fei looked at Tsing Hui, but seeing that he didn't seem to be pretending, she nodded. A man should be indomitable. I'm happy for you that you can take on this responsibility, and I'm also happy for my brother that he has a successor. Since you plan to do your part in this battle, then follow me for the next few months. When the time comes, you will have the chance to act. Tsing Hui pondered for a moment, then nodded slightly. I won't ask you how you were able to cultivate to the realm of true qi. Everyone has their own opportunities, but the cultivation of the immortality realm can't blindly pursue the realm. You have to accumulate to the peak of your original realm before breaking through, otherwise, when you reach a higher realm, you will lack the strength to continue, and it will become extremely difficult to break through again. The realm barrier is like a dam. If you only accumulate the water of a small stream, you won't be able to do anything, but if your accumulated strength is like a torrential river, or a tsunami, any dam barrier will be like a child's play in front of you, it will collapse at once. I understand, before reaching the limit of the realm, I won't easily break through to a higher realm. Tsing Hui nodded. In fact, the reason why he could easily awaken a second time and even refine his qi was because his accumulation was too strong. He broke through his limits again and again, causing his qi and blood foundation to be many times higher than ordinary blood-changing and awakening realm cultivators. Because of this, he was able to have a battle prowess not weaker than ordinary spirit-refining realm cultivators. This matter has been stirred up to this point, it's time to end it. I want to ask, if Biyu's death will bring you any trouble? Tsing Hui said. Nailan Fei chuckled. Although Biyu and I are direct disciples of the Sky Origin Peak Master, Biyu's potential has obviously been exhausted, and the spirit-refining realm is her limit. As for me, I have cultivated holy rank aura qi, and my future is limitless, with the hope of becoming the Peak Master's disciple. If Biyu dies, although the sect's higher-ups will punish me, these punishments are within the scope of what I can bear. Those palace masters and elders won't abandon me for a spirit-refining realm-direct disciple who has exhausted her potential. Speaking till here, her tone slightly paused. Of course, Biyu's death can't be used against her, otherwise, the palace masters and elders will have to punish her severely to uphold the sect's rules. I understand. Tsing Hui said, since killing her won't bring too much trouble, I'll deal with Biyu. Hearing Tsing Hui's words, Nailan Fei shook her head. If I have enough reason to kill Biyu, I'll only receive some punishment. But you can't. You're not a direct disciple of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. In order to uphold the dignity of the sect's direct disciples, if you kill Biyu, the Hunyuan Heaven sect's law enforcement team will definitely take action. The law enforcement team is full of experts, and even I won't be able to fight against them. If I don't do it, someone else will. Hire someone else? This is a method, but once a spirit and Qi Unity realm expert enters the Hunyuan Heaven sect's territory, it will definitely raise the Hunyuan Heaven sect's vigilance. Ordinary spirit refining realm experts may be able to defeat her, but they may not be able to kill her. Even if they can kill her, the Hunyuan Heaven sect will chase after them and make them a fugitive. Even if you offer a rank 4 divine weapon, no one will have the guts to accept the mission. Fugitive. Yen Huang was the master of the overseas colored glass island. Even if he was chased by the Hunyuan Heaven sect, as long as he hid overseas, the Hunyuan Heaven sect wouldn't be able to do anything. After all, apart from a few local cultivators, the majority of the overseas forces were forced to leave their homes and flee overseas due to the pressure of the 10 Great Sections. These cultivators were extremely hostile to the 10 Great Sections. How many of them were weak to be able to flee overseas under the pursuit of the 10 Great Sects? Unless the Hunyuan Heaven sect sent a Grand Elder or a Hall Master to hunt down Yen Huang, who had fled to Colored Glass Island, ordinary elders would die no matter how many of them they sent. The overlords of the overseas forces would definitely not be soft-hearted when killing the disciples of the 10 Great Sections. There are still 4 months until the 1-year deadline set by the Sky Origin Peak Master. At that time, no matter how unwilling Bu is, she won't dare to pursue you on the surface. If she dares to secretly make a move, I will have enough reason to kill her on the spot. Therefore, you don't have to worry too much about this matter. Just focus on your cultivation. Nayland Fei looked at Tsing Hui with praise in her eyes. I was a little disappointed when I heard that Erasure Yudo had cheated you of your disciple token, but I didn't expect that woman's matter to become the motivation for you to work harder. In addition, you're quite lucky to have obtained a high-quality Saint technique, so you've achieved so much in just over a year. I have to thank that woman, Erasure Yudo. Erasure Yuto. At the mention of this name, Tsing Hui furrowed his brows slightly. It wasn't that he had any thoughts about Erasure Yuto in his heart, but Cho Tsing Hui's body still had the painful memories of what she had done to him. In addition, Yuan Yang had followed Erasure Yuto's orders to assassinate him. I have to settle this matter between her and me. Originally, I wanted to get rid of her while she was still an inner disciple, but when Lan Yu sent me a message saying that you've already reached the awakened realm and have astonishing battle strength, I left her behind and planned to let you deal with her personally. But you have to be quick. She awakened 4 months ago and became a true disciple. Moreover, this woman is very good at making friends with both sides. Relying on her identity and appearance as Elder Juri's disciple, she has already become friends with many true disciples. Don't let her make a name for herself when the time comes. I understand. Chapter 80. Tsing Hui and Erasure Yudo chatted for a while before leaving. Zhou Yunqing dragged him to the Zhou family's courtyard. At this time, the Zhou family members were under protection, and their living quarters were not large. The Zhou family members, who usually lived like princes, often shared a room with 2 or 3 people. As a result, even the large courtyards were filled to the brim. Under such circumstances, Tsing Hui's entry into the Zhou family's courtyard was immediately noticed by the Zhou family members. That's him. Cho Tsing Hui, he still has the face to come back? Shoo, don't speak nonsense. Why can't I speak? If it wasn't for him, our Zhou family wouldn't have fallen to such a state. We wouldn't have to live in fear all the time. Shut up. Cho Tsing Hui has already broken through to the awakening realm. Do you think it's still the same as before? Moreover, Miss Nayland doesn't care much about the rest of the Zhou family. Even if she wants to protect Zhou Shuri's bloodline, if you anger Cho Tsing Hui, even if he kills us, Miss Nayland won't say a word. Hiss. The news of him breaking through to the awakening realm is true. How can it be false? Let's go, don't be an eyesore here. As Tsing Hui walked through the courtyard, his powerful hearing allowed him to hear the Zhou family's discussion clearly. However, just like how Nayland Fei only cared about Zhou Shuri's bloodline, Tsing Hui did not care about the rest of the Zhou family. Under Zhou Yunqing's lead, they went straight to the residence of the patriarch, his father, Zhou Shuri. However, just as the 2 of them stepped into Zhou Shuri's courtyard, 4 people turned the corner and walked out of the courtyard. Of these 4 people, 2 were old and 2 were young. The 2 older ones were the Zhou family's founding elders, Zhou Fengxiao and Zhou Xingyun. The 2 younger ones were Zhou Fengyun and Zhou Xiangdong, who had a fierce conflict with Tsing Hui and almost caused Tsing Hui to be expelled from the Zhou family. Upon seeing Tsing Hui and Yunqing, Zhou Fengxiao, Zhou Xingyun, Zhou Fengyun, Zhou Xiangdong, and the others were stunned for a moment before their expressions turned awkward. And Tsing Hui, Zhou Fengxiao and Zhou Xingyun forced a smile on their faces as they greeted. Are you here to look for the patriarch? Tsing Hui ignored the 2 and looked at Zhou Fengyun and Zhou Xiangdong. Although the two of them did not know that Tsing Hui had reached the second level of the immortality stage, they knew that he had awakened his bloodline. They also knew that he had killed the president of the Demon Hunters Union, many experts from the Third Prince's residence, and even young Master Longquan. Now that Tsing Hui looked at them, the two of them thought that Tsing Hui wanted to settle the score. They were so scared that their legs turned to jelly, and they immediately knelt down. Prince Tsing Hui, we were wrong. Please forgive us this time. Cousin Tsing Hui, we may have offended you in the past, but we were just playing around when we were young. Please forgive us, Cousin Tsing Hui. Tsing Hui glanced at Zhuo Fengyun and Zhuo Xiangdong, then at the frightened and reverent Zhuo Fengxiao and Zhuo Xingyun. He said to Zhuo Yunqing, are these two still the Zhuo family's founding members? Zhuo Yunqing did not know why Tsing Hui asked this question. No wonder the Zhuo family has been unable to make a name for themselves for so many years. How can the entire family be united if these murderers can hold high positions in the family? Fortunately, I have already been expelled from the Zhuo family. Otherwise, the Zhuo family would have declined sooner or later even with Auntie Naylan's support. Tsing Hui's words caused Zhuo Fengxiao and Zhuo Xingyun's expressions to change drastically. At this time, two other founding members, Zhuo Xiaozi and Zhuo Feilong, walked out. When they heard Tsing Hui's words, Zhuo Xiaozi hurriedly said, Tsing Hui, don't joke around. Although there are rumors that you have been expelled from the Zhuo family, this is only a joke. No one has the right to question the fact that you are a member of the Zhuo family. If you don't believe me, you can go and take a look. Your name is still clearly written in the Zhuo family's genealogy. Yes. Zhuo Feilong quickly agreed, Xiaozi is right. Your father is the patriarch of the Zhuo family, and you are the only son of the patriarch. Not only are you a member of the Zhuo family, but you will also be the future successor of the patriarch. You will lead the Zhuo family to prosperity. Who would have the guts to expel you? Wouldn't that be dividing the Zhuo family? As he spoke, he was still quite nervous. As early as when Tsing Hui had reached the awakening realm, the entire Zhuo family had held several meetings about him. Although the Zhuo family had some influence in the 100 Desolation City, it was only a second-rate family. It could not be compared to the Jin family, Feng family, or Fang family. It was precisely because of Nayland Fei's existence that the Zhuo family had risen to the top. Not only had they become one of the top families in the 100 Desolation City, but they also had abundant resources, causing the number of powerhouses in the family to increase exponentially. However, Nayland Fei was only the adopted daughter of the Zhuo family's patriarch. How could she compare to Tsing Hui? Now that the patriarch's son, Tsing Hui, had stepped into the immortal realm, the Zhuo family's hope of soaring to the top was right in front of them. The Zhuo family had to grasp this opportunity no matter what. This was the unanimous decision of the entire Zhuo family after a discussion. Thinking of how important Tsing Hui was to the Zhuo family, Zhuo Feilong could not care about anything else. He hurriedly said, Xiaozi, I think what Tsing Hui said just now makes sense. Our Zhuo family should really clean up the atmosphere. Those who have no ability but still sit in their positions should be expelled from the core circle of the Zhuo family. This matter should not be delayed. Let's hold a meeting immediately. Founding Elder Feilong is correct. The Zhuo family is no longer the small family it once was. It really does need to be cleaned up. Zhuo Xiaozi understood what Zhuo Feilong meant. He hurriedly nodded in agreement. After saying that, he turned to Tsing Hui and said, Tsing Hui, you are the son of the patriarch of the Zhuo family and the future successor of the patriarch. In the future, the entire Zhuo family will be handed to you at the helm. Come and listen to this meeting and give us some suggestions. Tsing Hui originally did not want to have too much to do with the Zhuo family. However, when he saw the joy in Zhuo Yunqing's eyes and thought about the fact that his body came from Zhuo Shuri's son, Tsing Hui, after a moment of silence, he finally said, let Yunqing listen. Her cultivation has already reached the blood transformation realm. She can be considered the strongest person in our Zhuo family. She has the qualifications. Just tell me the final result of the meeting. Zhuo Xiaozi and Zhuo Feilong knew that they had to take things one step at a time. They nodded and said, very well. As Tsing Hui said, we will go and inform the other founding elders. After saying that, The two of them glanced at the pale-faced Zhuo Xingyun and Zhuo Fengxiao. I won't inform the rest of you. Make sure you don't miss out on the meeting. Zhuo Fengxiao and Zhuo Xingyun exchanged glances. Their faces were gloomy. They understood that after the meeting, the days when they could act as they pleased with their status as founding elders of the Zhuo family would never return. When they thought about how all of this had happened because of Zhuo Fengyun and Zhuo Xiangdong, the two of them were furious. They grabbed the two of them and beat them viciously. As members of the Zhuo family, instead of working together, you bully your fellow clansmen. I'll beat the two of you to death. For a moment, Zhuo Fengyun and Zhuo Xiangdong screamed in agony. Zhuo Xiaozi and Zhuo Feilong turned a blind eye to this scene and left. Xing Hui ignored the four of them and entered the courtyard with Zhuo Yunqing. With the arrival of Nailan Fei, Zhuo Shuri's life as the Zhuo family patriarch had become much more relaxed. Even in the face of a powerful enemy, his residence was still heavily guarded. There was even an old man in the True Qi realm who had been ordered to protect Zhuo Shuri. When he saw Xing Hui arrive, the old man sized him up with a trace of surprise. Could you be Prince Xing Hui? Didn't the rumors say that Prince Xing Hui was only in the awakening realm? But that's news from almost a year ago. Naturally, I've made some progress in the past year. Xing Hui nodded to the old man and entered the hall. Zhuo Shuri seemed to have heard Xing Hui's voice and walked out of the hall. When he saw Xing Hui and Zhuo Yunqing, a trace of excitement flashed in his eyes. After a while, he sighed and said, "Xing Hui, you've suffered." Xing Hui looked at Chou Xing Hui. He naturally understood that Chou Xing Hui loved his only son very much. Otherwise, he wouldn't have resisted the pressure of the entire family and secretly told him to hurry to the Hunyuan Heaven sect to seek refuge with Nailan Fei. However, his personality was clearly a little weak. Or rather, it could be said that he was overcautious and narrow-minded. As a patriarch, there were many things he couldn't make decisions on. Father, Big Brother is back. He's already an immortality realm expert. With him around, you won't have to work so hard in the future. Zhuo Yunqing said happily. Xing Hui nodded and looked at Zhuo Shuri. In fact, Zhuo Shuri couldn't be blamed for not being the patriarch. His bloodline was originally rather weak. Before he received the pills from Nailan Fei, the strongest person he had was only in the marrow-cleansing realm. Naturally, he couldn't compare to the other bloodlines that had viscera-refining experts. If it weren't for the fact that the other Zhuo family members wanted to curry favor with Nailan Fei, he wouldn't have been the patriarch. Due to his family background and various other reasons, he didn't have the boldness a patriarch should have. He was even almost forced by the Grand Elders to expel his only son from the family. Shaking his head, Xing Hui also felt that Chou Xing Hui's father was rather pitiful. It was easy to imagine how sullen his father must have felt when he was forced to make such a decision by the many Grand Elders. He no longer pursued the matter and directly said, "During my time away from home, I've come to understand something. In this world, the strong are respected. Take the Zhuo family as an example. If you want to manage the Zhuo family well, you must first have the power to convince everyone. In the past, your power came from Nailan Fei, but she was far away in the Hunyuan Heaven sect. It would take more than a month for her to travel back and forth. In addition, you didn't want to trouble her with such trivial matters. This allowed the Zhuo family Grand Elders to see that you were weak and easily bullied. But now, Xing Hui's straightforward words made Zhuo Shuri secretly feel guilty. When he heard this, his eyes immediately lit up. "Xing Hui, are you willing to help me? Why don't I pass the position to you and make you the patriarch of the Zhuo family? I believe the others won't object." "The patriarch of the Zhuo family?" Xing Hui shook his head. "There's no need. In fact, if you want to have absolute authority in the Zhuo family, it's very simple. You only need to." He extended his right hand and clenched his fist. Have the strength. Have the strength to suppress everyone from the other bloodlines. When the time comes, the entire Zhuo family will naturally follow your orders as the patriarch. Chapter 81. When Zhuo Shuri heard Xing Hui mention his strength, he felt a little ashamed. "I spend most of my time cultivating. Even with the resources Yunqing and Miss Nailan have given me, I still need a year or two to break through to the blood transformation realm. When Xinghui heard how Zhuo Shuri addressed Nailin Fei, he knew that Zhuo Shuri must feel inferior in front of Nailin Fei. This was probably why he didn't want to trouble Nailin Fei most of the time. Compared to Nailin Fei, who was blessed by the heavens, Zhuo Shuri was too ordinary. Even though he was lucky enough to become siblings with Nailin Fei, he still couldn't change the lofty image of Nailin Fei in his heart. Father, Auntie, and we have given you a lot of cultivation resources. Logically speaking, you should have reached the blood transformation realm long ago. Why is it that Zhuo Xiangbei and Zhuo Langao have already broken through to the blood transformation realm, but you're still at the peak of the viscera refining realm? Zhuo Yunqing was a little confused. As the Zhuo family patriarch, I can't just think about myself most of the time. I have to think about the big picture. Xiangbei has already reached the peak of the viscera refining realm. When he came to borrow pills to break through to the next realm, I couldn't refuse. And Uncle Langao? He's our elder, someone from your grandfather's generation. He personally said that he wanted to reach the blood transformation realm to stimulate his life potential and extend his life. How could I turn a blind eye to that? So you gave them the resources that Yunqing and Nailin Fei sent you? Xinghui asked. I did this for the stability of the family, Zhuo Shuri said. Xinghui looked at Chou Xinghui. He had to admit that Chou Xinghui's father's personality was a little too weak. Moreover, he attached too much importance to the so-called family ties. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that the other people in the Zhuo family were treating him like a fool. However, he was bound by the so-called family ties and could not refuse. Sometimes, he knew that the other party had bad intentions, but as long as his peers and elders said a few good words and begged him, he would give away the good things from Nailin Fei just like that. A father with such a personality, it was no wonder that Chou Xinghui had to follow behind Erasure Yudo and end up with nothing. How can Uncle Xiangbei and Granduncle Langao do this? Some of those resources were saved up with great difficulty, Zhuo Yunqing said with some dissatisfaction. Although our Zhuo family is known as a first-rate family, because we don't have a blood transformation realm expert, which power in 100 Desolation City doesn't look down on us. When I saw that Zhuo Xiangbei had indeed reached the peak of the viscera refining realm, and what he said made sense, I took out those resources to help him. As for Uncle Langao, during that period of time, his qi and blood were severely damaged. If he couldn't break through, I'm afraid he wouldn't be able to live much longer. Uncle Langao's juniors came to beg me, but I didn't want them to send their juniors off, so. You showed mercy to the Zhuo family several times, but I didn't see them show any mercy to you or my brother. Back then, because of the matter with Nailin Fei, they all clamored to expel my brother from the Zhuo family. They even wanted to erase his ancestral records and self-destruct. Zhuo Yunqing said angrily. Hearing her words, Zhuo Shuri glanced at Chou Xinghui and was filled with guilt. I'm useless. I've made you suffer. Xinghui shook his head. A person's personality was fixed and difficult to change, especially since Zhuo Shuri didn't have the heart of an expert. If they wanted him to be motivated and play the role of a patriarch and control the Zhuo family, difficult. I have a set of rank 2 divine weapons in my hands. It's divided into the divine weapon, the armor, and the spirit-gathering jade. When you wear the armor, unless you're an awakening realm expert, no one will be able to do anything to you. As for the spirit-gathering jade, it can continuously gather yuan qi of the world to refine your body and strengthen it. Even if you don't cultivate, you'll naturally reach the blood transformation realm in 3 to 5 years. If you supplement it with high-grade techniques and top-grade pills, you'll reach the blood transformation realm in half a year. As long as you have the strength to suppress the entire Zhuo family, no one will dare to be arrogant in front of you. Rank 2 divine weapon? And it's a set? Zhuo Shuri's eyes widened. I'll leave my spiritual imprint on the divine weapon. It's best if you don't let anyone else use it. Otherwise, if the sword intent recoils, I can't guarantee that they won't be able to survive. With that, Xinghui turned to leave. I still have to deal with Biyu's matter. I don't have time to waste on the Zhuo family's internal strife. Think about the Zhuo family's actions and carefully consider whether they're worth your sacrifice. Seeing Xinghui turn to leave, Zhou Yunqing hesitated for a moment. Then he said to Zhou Shuri, "Father, I also think that some people in the family have gone too far. When you can bring them benefits, they treat you with respect. But when you don't have anything good in your hands, they immediately turn on you." Zhou Shuri watched as Tsing Hui and Zhou Yunqing left one after another. His face was a little sad. "As a member of the family, I only want to be united and help each other. Why did they?" In Nailin Fei's room, she was flipping through the information sent by the Hunyuan Heavenly Sex Princess Lan Yu. He even lent her the mysterious void armor. Peak Master Yuan Kong is too biased. "Perhaps I owe you a favor for protecting me, but that doesn't mean I have to submit to you." Nailin Fei frowned. "Fei." At this moment, Nailin Sheng's voice came from outside the door. Then he and two other Nailin family spirit refining experts stepped into the room at the same time. Seeing the three of them, Nailin Fei also felt a little helpless. The feeling the Nailin family gave her was too realistic. It was a family that placed benefits above all else. There was no kinship in this family. In their hearts, in order to strengthen the family, anything could be sacrificed. Even their children, wives, and children were no exception. This was the reason why she hadn't been very close to the other members of the Nailin family all these years. If it wasn't for Bai Yu's revolt this time, she had no choice but to rely on the strength of the Nailin family to fight against her. She would never have asked Nailin Xing, Nailin Hong, and Nailin Feng, these three elders, to take action. "Fei, we've already heard from Jing Yun, Yu Yang, and the other juniors. I didn't expect a true dragon to be born in a small family like the Zhou family." Nailin Hong took the lead with a smile. "If we didn't guess wrongly, this kid was able to kill the five-colored dragon king of the Black Dragon Society. His chi is not simple. Maybe it's holy chi." At such a young age, not only did he cultivate to the true chi realm, he even cultivated holy chi. According to the news I heard, this Cho Tsing Hui seems to have cultivated sword intent. This is the gate to the spirit refining realm. In the future, as long as he cultivates step by step, it won't be difficult for him to step into the spirit refining realm. Maybe he'll be another genius like you. Nailin Feng, who was at the side, quickly followed up. Nailin Fei thought of the Tian Peng unhindered art that Tsing Hui asked Princess Lan Yu to bring. Then she thought of the astonishing battle strength he displayed in the awakening realm. She guessed that he had indeed awakened the bloodline of a sacred beast. "But I understand Tsing Hui's matter. Elders, why did you mention Tsing Hui?" "Naturally, Fei, I've asked the Zhou family. This Cho Tsing Hui is not married yet. Coincidentally, I have a granddaughter called Nailin Shui. I believe you've heard of her before. Not only is she a beauty, her cultivation talent is also not bad. Currently, she's in the awakening realm. I think she and Cho Tsing Hui are a match made in heaven." Nailin Sheng said, "If Cho Tsing Hui feels that Xuan is not suitable, my granddaughter Nailin Yu is also suitable. Although her cultivation is lower and she has just changed her bloodline, she's still young. Compared to Cho Tsing Hui, she's 2 years younger. It's just right for them to cultivate their feelings." Nailin Hong agreed. Nailin Fei glanced at the several doyens and immediately understood their intentions. The Nailin family had been able to develop until now, and the biggest characteristic was that they were willing to marry off their daughters. Although the Nailin family did not have an immortal level 4th layer expert, their influence was great. Many of their daughters were married to the elders of the Hunyuan Heaven sect and the top 100 true disciples as concubines. These elders might not do their best when the Nailin family was in danger, but they would definitely support them. Obviously, they saw Tsing Hui's talent and wanted to pull him into the Nailin family. This is Tsing Hui's own business. It's up to Tsing Hui to decide. Marriage has always been decided by the parents. As his aunt, you can be said to be the closest person to him apart from his father. If you go and make things clear to him and his father, I believe he will definitely not refuse. That's right. Nailin Sheng smiled and said, "Compared to the Zhou family, our Nailin family is more than 1,000 times stronger. We are willing to let him join our family because we think highly of him. Anyone with a brain knows what the right choice is. As far as I know, Tsing Hui already has a sweetheart called Wu Yao. It was because of Wu Yuyao that he became angry and killed Prince Longquan, which led to a series of events. Nayland Fei did not want Xing Hui to enter the Nayland family. Once he entered the Nayland family, he might have some benefits in the beginning, but in the end, the Nayland family would definitely squeeze him dry. As she cultivated to the spirit-refining realm, her value increased greatly, and she had already experienced it. How can a mere Wu Yuyao compare to the children of our Nayland family? Nayland Hong said disdainfully. However, Nayland Sheng thought about what Xing Hui did to Wu Yuyao and said, if Xing Hui and Wu Yuyao have a good relationship, we can allow him to take her as a concubine, but the children of our Nayland family must be the first wife. In my opinion, Xing Hui must have seen too little of the world, which is why he was charmed by an ordinary woman. When he sees the children of our Nayland family, he will naturally not be interested in Wu Yuyao. That's right. Nayland Fei shook her head. I can't make the decision on this matter. Nayland Sheng was unhappy. Fei, you invited us to protect the Zhuo family for you, and we rushed over without hesitation. Why can't we handle such a small matter? If the Zhuo family really doesn't put your words in their heart, then why should we waste our time and energy on such an ungrateful family? It's better to just bring them back and let them fend for themselves. Go call Zhuo Shuri. If you can't speak, I'll speak to him and see if he agrees. Chapter 82. Half a day after Xing Hui arrived at the Zhuo residence, everyone in the Luo Lin kingdom received the news. In a short period of time, the number of cultivators outside Nayland Fei's residence doubled. From time to time, one could see the figures of St. Chao Zhendao, Flying Deity Bat Yishui Han, Sly Assassin Tu Ying, Mirror Immortal Wang Zhe, Poison Gentleman Tong Ping Ping, and God-slaying Sword Sidu Qiushui. The reward of a rank 4 divine weapon was an irresistible temptation to any spirit-refining cultivator. Even if they had to offend a spirit-refining true disciple with unlimited potential, they would not hesitate. Under such circumstances, the many experts in the courtyard clearly became busy. However, what made Xing Hui puzzled was that the experts of the Nayland family who were in charge of assisting Nayland Fei's subordinates had become slack in their work. They gathered in groups of 3 to 5 and were too lazy to bother with patrolling. He did not have the time to care about these details. At this moment, he had already arrived at the entrance of the courtyard. Seeing Xing Hui outside the courtyard, Bai Lanxing, Jing Yun, and the rest who were in charge of guarding the courtyard were startled. They quickly said, "Prince Xing Hui, please go back and hide immediately. If you expose yourself rashly, those criminals might find an opportunity to attack the residence." "No worries, I'm here to pick up one of my men. He should be here soon." But before Bai Lanxing could say anything, Yan Huang's figure had already appeared at the corner of the street and was heading towards the courtyard. Seeing Yan Huang striding over, Bai Lanxing's pupils shrank. He could not help but exclaim, "Spirit-refining cultivator." The next moment, he quickly shouted, Quick! Be careful! Inform the elders." "Where are the elders? Why are they nowhere to be seen?" "Don't make a fuss, these are my men," Xing Hui said. At this moment, Yan Huang's figure leaped and arrived in front of Xing Hui. He cupped his hands towards Xing Hui. "Master?" When Bai Lanxing saw this, he couldn't help but be stunned on the spot. He could see that Yan Huang was definitely a spirit-refining cultivator. Moreover, he seemed to be stronger than ordinary spirit-refining cultivators. Perhaps he had reached the middle stage of the spirit-refining realm. This kind of spirit-refining cultivator should be an illustrious and famous character, yet he actually greeted Xing Hui, who was only in the true Qi realm. Moreover, it was not a friendship between equals, but a servant addressing him as master. Xing Hui nodded at Yan Huang and led him to the inner courtyard under the surprised gazes of Bai Lanxing and the others. "That lord seems to be a spirit-refining cultivator. We have 4 spirit-refining cultivators on our side?" Jing Yun was pleasantly surprised. During this period of time, with the appearance of Qing Su, the spirit-refining cultivators of the enemy forces would occasionally peek in this direction, bringing them great pressure. At this time, the addition of a spirit-refining cultivator on their side was a great boost to their morale. "Xing Hui, you're here? Father, Auntie, and several Nalan clan elders are looking for you. When Tsing Hui brought Yan Huang into the courtyard, Zhou Yunqing brought a few people out. Seeing him, Zhou Yunqing was pleasantly surprised. Looking for me? Tsing Hui saw that Nalan Fei, several Nalan clan elders, and Zhou Shuri were all present. He guessed that they were discussing how to deal with Bai Yu. Although he had Yan Huang, a peak expert, on his side, it was difficult for two fists to fight against four hands. If he could get the help of the Nalan clan's spirit-refining cultivators, defeating Bai Yu's forces and killing Bai Yu would be much easier. I'll go over, Tsing Hui said and brought Yan Huang to the meeting hall. In the meeting hall, Nalan Fei, Zhou Shuri, and the others were all present. At the same time, Zhou Aolong and Zhou Xiangbei, who had just broken through to the blood transformation realm and whose influence in the Zhou family had nearly overshadowed Zhou Shuri's. When they saw Qing Su arrive, Nalan Hong and Nalan Feng constantly studied him. Once they confirmed that he really was a true Qi cultivator, they immediately smiled from ear to ear. Nephew Tsing Hui, you're here. We've been waiting for you. You're the biggest winner of this good thing. Nalan Xing welcomed him warmly. Good thing? What good thing? We've already discussed with your father, Zhou Shuri. I have a granddaughter named Nalan Shui. She has an extraordinary appearance and is well educated. In addition, she has also awakened her bloodline and stepped into the awakening realm. Although her bloodline is ordinary, she's good at breeding. It's not difficult for her to carry on the bloodline and strengthen your Zhou clan. When do you two want to meet to settle this matter? Zhou Shuri was a little embarrassed. He only said that he had no objections and that everything would be decided by Tsing Hui. When did they reach an agreement? Tsing Hui frowned. He didn't understand what was going on. Zhou Xiangbei and Zhou Oolong hurriedly chimed in. Tsing Hui, the young ladies of the Nalan clan are very honorable. Being able to marry one would bring honor to your ancestors. Why don't you hurry up and thank Holy Elder Nalan for his appreciation? That's right. Our Zhou clan can become in-laws with the Nalan clan. It's rare for Holy Elder Nalan to think so highly of you. Don't let down Holy Elder Nalan's good intentions. I'm no longer a member of the Zhou clan. My matters are not for you to decide. Tsing Hui glanced at the two and said coldly. He didn't have a good impression of these two people who were openly and secretly trying to take the cultivation resources that Nalan Fei and Zhou Yunqing had given to Zhou Shuri for themselves. However, Zhou Xiangbei and Zhou Oolong, who were used to the Zhou clan humbling themselves in front of him, couldn't take it anymore. Their faces turned stiff. Tsing Hui, what are you saying? What do you mean you're no longer a member of the Zhou clan? Don't forget that you grew up eating the rice of the Zhou clan. You cultivate our techniques and the blood of the Zhou clan flows in your veins. Now that you've gained some ability, you're looking down on everyone else? You don't respect us elders at all, do you? Is that so? When you insisted on expelling me from the Zhou clan's ancestral home, I didn't hear you say that. That was just to polish you. Zhou Oolong looked a little embarrassed, but he quickly covered it up. As the saying goes, jade can't become anything without being polished. You've been with Erasure Yudo all this time and your great talent has been ruined. We had no choice but to use this method to stimulate your fighting spirit. It seems that this method is very effective. You should thank us properly. That makes sense. After Tsing Hui finished speaking, he turned to Zhou Shuri and said coldly, from what I see, Zhou Xiangbei and Zhou Oolong have both reached the blood transformation realm. Next is the crucial moment for them to break through to the awakening realm. Why don't you treat them the same way you treated me? Expel them from the Zhou clan and let them work hard. This way, the Zhou clan might have 2 more awakening realm powerhouses in the future. As soon as he said that, Zhou Oolong and Zhou Xiangbei's expressions changed. They immediately shouted, Tsing Hui, you child, how can you say that? Yeah, how can us elders compare to you youngsters? Shuri, don't you care about your son? Zhou Shuri opened his mouth to say something, but Tsing Hui knew his son's personality. He didn't want to make things difficult for him, so he said, I'm already an adult. I make my own decisions. No one can influence me. Qing Su, that's where you're wrong. Marriage has always been decided by the parents and matchmakers. Since when was it your turn to speak? Or do you want to betray your ancestors? Nalan Sheng said with dissatisfaction. Nalan Hong responded appropriately, that's right. If you, Cho Tsing-hui, really want to betray your ancestors, then your matters will no longer have anything to do with us. When the time comes, don't blame us for leaving without caring about your safety. Your life and death will be at BU's disposal. You can't. Elders, please calm down. Zhuo Shuri quickly shouted when he heard that Nalan Hong and the others were about to leave. He understood that although Tsing Hui's cultivation was fast, he was only in the true Qi realm at best. There were already a few spirit-refining cultivators who wanted to take his life and go to BU for rewards, not to mention the spirit-refining cultivators invited by Fairy BU. Once the Nalan clan's spirit-refining elders left, only death would await Tsing Hui. He quickly said, Elders, please wait for a moment. Let me have a good talk with Tsing Hui. Humph. You better give us an accurate answer quickly. We don't have so much time to waste here. Nalan Sheng's expression immediately changed. Yes, I understand. Zhuo Shuri finished speaking and turned to Tsing Hui. Elders, you were invited by me. For this, I paid 3 rank 3 divine weapons. Now that the 1-year deadline is not up, how can you give up halfway? Without waiting for Zhuo Shuri to speak, Nalan Fei said solemnly. Fei, you can't blame us. Although we were invited by you to protect the Zhuo clan, others did not put us in their eyes. Can we continue to endure? That's right. Moreover, as a member of our Nalan clan, you were able to cultivate to the spirit-refining realm in a short 20 years. You have spent a lot of our cultivation resources. Now that you have some achievements, it is reasonable for you to contribute 3 rank 3 divine weapons to the clan, right? To actually talk about these 3 divine weapons, you really don't know anything. Nalan Fei frowned. Alright, things are different now. Currently, Baiyu has invited 6 spirit-refining cultivators. In addition to the 2 spirit-refining cultivators by her side and herself, there are a total of 9 spirit-refining cultivators. Even if we talk about the matter, 3 rank 3 divine weapons are not enough to invite 3 spirit-refining cultivators and 9 spirit-refining cultivators to fight to the death, right? Isn't this making things difficult for us? Nalan Sheng said. In the end, he added, of course, if you contribute 6 more rank 3 divine weapons to the clan and invite 6 spirit-refining cultivators, we can continue to protect the Zhuo clan with 9 against 9. 6 level 3 divine weapons. Elders, aren't you asking for too much? Even if you don't have 6 rank 3 divine weapons, the rank 4 divine weapon given to you by the sect leader is also fine. If you are willing to contribute it to the clan, I guarantee that the Zhuo clan will not suffer any harm. That's right. Baiyu has already taken out a rank 4 divine weapon to reward Cho Tsing-hui. You should also take out a rank 4 divine weapon to fight against her. It is completely reasonable. Hearing the words rank 4 divine weapon, Nalan Hong and Nalan Feng's eyes flashed with passion as they tried their best to persuade. Enough. At this moment, Qing Su suddenly called out and took a step forward. Our Zhuo family can't afford to raise the price on the spot. If you feel that the price is too high, you can leave immediately. I won't send you off. I will settle Baiyu's matter. Chapter 83. Cho Tsing-hui, what are you talking about? What do you mean by raising the price? So unpleasant to hear? Don't you know what it means to be in a different situation? You want us to fight against 9 spirit-refining cultivators with 3 rank 3 divine weapons? Why don't you try to hire experts with this price? If you can get any forces to help, I'll change my surname to yours. Those 3 divine weapons will be the compensation for your hard work. And, follow me, we'll discuss how to defeat the enemy. With that, Qing Su turned around and left. Tsing Hui, don't be impulsive. Zhuo Shuri hurriedly shouted. What are you doing? Without the elders of the Nalan family, how can we fight against the experts sent by Fairy Baiyu? If you want to die, go ahead, but don't drag us down with you. Zhuo Xiangbei and Zhuo Aolong shouted angrily. However, Nalan Fei said nothing. She continued to stare at Yan Huang behind Qing Su as a sliver of surprise appeared in her eyes. Others might not be able to feel it, but she could. Holy rank earth energy. She could feel the aura of holy rank earth energy from Yan Huang. Moreover, compared to her, a cultivator who had just condensed saint-grade aura chi, Yan Huang's attainments in the spirit-refining realm were much deeper. She immediately stood up and chased after Qing Su when she sensed that Blazing Glory and Qing Su's relationship was slightly different from that of friends. When she left the hall, her voice rang out, "Elders, if the three of you really aren't willing to lend a hand, then so be it. As for the 3 divine artifacts, just as Qing Su said, they'll be your employment fee for the next few months. However, from today onwards, as long as the Nalan clan doesn't encounter a calamity that's close to annihilation, don't blame me for choosing to stand by and watch." Feiyun, let them go. Now that Zhuo Qingshu has returned, Bai Yu will definitely launch a frenzied attack. Without the few of us to share the pressure, even if Fei Lass has the advantage of holy grade aura chi, she won't be able to resist so many spirit-refining cultivators. Seeing that Nalan Xing wanted to keep Nalan Fei, Nalan Hong snorted. Nalan Feng, who was standing by the side, also nodded his head in agreement. That's right, we'll wait. In any case, if there are any casualties in the end, it won't be someone from our Nalan clan who dies. However, once she is unable to withstand the pressure and asks for our help, it won't be as simple as a level 4 divine weapon. I remember that when Fei went to see the sect master, other than being bestowed a level 4 divine weapon, she was also bestowed with a bottle of Wanhua Yuangang pills. Wanhua Yuangang pill. I only cultivate spirit-grade Gang Qi. If I were to consume a bottle of Wanhua Yuangang pill with my current attainments in Gang Qi, it would not be difficult for me to have the combat strength of a late-stage Gang Qi cultivator. Just you wait. Based on my understanding of Lass Fei, she will yield. Nalan Sheng, Nalan Hong, and Nalan Feng quickly reached a consensus. Feng? In another room, Nalan Fei stared at Yan Huang and said, "Yan Huang, a friend of mine." Hearing Qing Su introduce him as a friend, Yan Huang was secretly grateful in his heart. At the same time, he bowed slightly towards Nalan Fei. "Mr. Qing Su has done me a great favor. I have already sworn to follow Mr. Qing Su and treat Mr. Qing Su as my master." Yan Huang has long heard of Miss Nalan's genius name. Today, I have seen that it is indeed well-deserved. If I am not wrong, Miss Nalan's strength is likely not inferior to an ordinary late-stage spirit-refining realm expert. Hearing Yan Huang's flattery, Tsing Hui also used an appraisal skill on Nalan Fei. However, the result of the appraisal skill surprised him. Nalan Fei. Chaotic level, rank 12. Attack level, 34. Defense level, 35. Speed level, 36. Spirit level, 33. Her attributes were the same as Yan Huang's. It could be seen that the two were about the same. What really caught Tsing Hui's attention was Nalan Fei's chaotic level. Rank 12. She was 1 level higher than Dawn leader Ling Yu. Moreover, rank 10 was the dividing line between ordinary Sons of Chaos and high-rank Sons of Chaos. Nalan Fei, who was a rank 12 Son of Chaos, must have pointed out the divine art. Therefore, her actual combat strength could no longer be measured by ordinary spirit-refining experts. Son of Chaos. No wonder Nalan Fei's performance was ordinary before she was adopted. However, not long after she joined the Hunyuan Heaven sect, she soared to the heavens in just a few decades and cultivated holy grade aura chi. I thought she was heavily nurtured by the Hunyuan Heaven sect, but it was actually because she obtained the primal chaos inheritance. Tsing Hui understood. At the same time, he was somewhat surprised. He did not know why Nalan Fei still stayed in the Hunyuan Heaven sect after obtaining the primal chaos inheritance. Was she not afraid that the high-rank Sons of Chaos of the Hunyuan Heaven sect would discover the mysteries of her body? Your Excellency Yan Huang is also not weak. Moreover, your name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't recall it at the moment. Yan Huang was startled and secretly glanced at Tsing Hui. Seeing that Tsing Hui did not say anything, he smiled and said, "Is that so? Perhaps we have met before." I was restrained by the Sky Origin Peak Master and the higher-ups of the Hunyuan Heaven sect, so I could not act directly. I had no choice but to borrow the strength of the Nalan family. However, after meeting Your Excellency Yan Huang, I am relieved. If Your Excellency Yan Huang is willing to help, Biyu will not only be able to threaten Tsing Hui's safety, but also her own life. Miss Nailin is too kind. Let us discuss how to resolve the crisis of the Zhou family and deal with Biyu's crazy revenge. Nailin Fei nodded. This is the detailed information I have collected on the experts under Biyu. Please take a look. Yan Huang cautiously received the information. He knew that these spirit-refining experts were the key to solving the problem of Tsing Hui. As he flipped through the information one by one, he soon came to a conclusion. Among these spirit-refining experts, the ones who can be considered a threat are the god-slaying sword Sidu Qiushui, the scarlet flame fairy Tsang Shui, and the dragon monarch Zhang Jiuxiao. Although the others have spirit-refining cultivation, they have only condensed ordinary aura qi and barely stepped into the spirit-refining realm. Otherwise, they have only been in the spirit-refining realm for a short period of time and are not worth mentioning. Yan Huang said. Within the same realm, there were naturally differences in strength. If a peak spirit-refining cultivator were to fight against an ordinary spirit-refining cultivator, 1 against 10 would not be a problem. But if a spirit-refining cultivator with Saint-grade aura qi was to fight against a spirit-refining cultivator who had just condensed ordinary aura qi, not to mention 10, even 20, 30, or 40 of them would be defeated by him alone. This was also the reason why Yan Huang dared to not put the other spirit-refining cultivators in his eyes. The god-slaying sword Sidu Qiushui is easier to deal with. She is arrogant and always acts alone. But the dragon monarch Zhang Jiuxiao and the scarlet flame fairy Tsang Shui, both of them have the strength of a late-stage or peak spirit-refining cultivator. I can deal with one of them alone, but if the two of them join hands, I'm afraid it will be troublesome. After Yan Huang finished speaking, he turned to Tsing Hui. One of them will have to be personally dealt with by Gongzi. I do not hope to defeat him, but just delay him for a while. After I kill the other one, I will come to Gongzi's aid. Hearing Yan Huang's words, Nailin Fei's eyes narrowed. Yan Huang, he actually has the confidence to kill a late-stage or peak spirit-refining cultivator? Also, he said that Tsing Hui has just stepped into the true Qi realm. Moreover, I can see that he has just stepped into the true Qi realm not long ago. How can he deal with a spirit-refining cultivator? Especially a late-stage spirit-refining cultivator? Could it be? Nailin Fei looked at Tsing Hui with a trace of expectation. Tsing Hui, did you really cultivate holy grade true Qi? Yan Huang also secretly glanced at Tsing Hui. Holy grade true Qi? If Tsing Hui only cultivated holy grade true Qi, how could he have such a terrifying power? What he cultivated was divine grade true Qi. It was because of this that Yan Huang chose to submit to Tsing Hui when he was at his wit's end. Relying on a genius cultivator who cultivated divine grade true Qi, although he would lose his freedom, but it might not be impossible for him to take advantage of the situation and soar to the sky. Tsing Hui nodded and said, although I do not know the cultivation of those two, I will try my best to delay them. Wait a minute. Nailin Fei took out the rank 4 divine weapon on her. It was a divine sword. As she reached out and touched the sword, the spiritual imprint she had imprinted on the sword immediately dissipated. Because the spiritual imprint had dissipated, she seemed to have suffered a backlash. A trace of paleness flashed across her originally fair and pretty face. With this sword, your chances of winning will more or less increase. This is, Tsing Hui looked at the rank 4 divine sword that was emitting a mysterious light and seemed to have thought of something. This is the rank 4 divine weapon that the sect leader bestowed upon me, the 9-winged cloud soaring sword. Rank 4 high-grade divine weapon? Nailin Fei nodded. The quality of the saint-grade true Qi I've cultivated is extremely good, and the sect leader is very fond of it. In addition, the 4th-ranked divine weapon bestowed by the sect leader naturally wouldn't be a low-grade 4th-ranked divine weapon. Given his status, he wouldn't be able to take it out. Hence, no one knew that this divine sword was a high-grade 4th-ranked divine weapon. If you wield this divine sword, if you use it wisely, you can even reverse the situation. Ant is considerate. I will definitely use this sword to cut off Jasper's head. Jasper, if you kill her, then so be it. Otherwise, even with the 1-year deadline from the Sky Origin Peak Lord, Who knows what kind of trouble she will cause us? I will bear the consequences. At most, I will bring this matter to the sect leader. With Ant's words, I am relieved. Tsing Hui nodded slightly. However, you have to be careful. Even though Jasper has only cultivated spirit-grade true qi, she is still much stronger than ordinary spirit-refining cultivators. Coupled with the rank 4 divine weapon in her hands, she is probably not much weaker than the dragon monarch Zhang Jiuxiao and the scarlet flame fairy Zhang Shui. Do what you can. I understand that. Tsing Hui saw that Nailin Fei had lent him the divine weapon that the sect leader bestowed upon her, and was willing to go against Fairy Jasper, who was stronger than her, for the Zhou family. Even if the secret of the Primal Chaos Shrine was exposed, she would still trust him. He immediately asked the question that had been bothering him, Aunt, if I am not wrong, you are the son of Primal Chaos? Chapter 84. Tsing Hui's question caused Nailin Fei's expression to change slightly. After a moment, she seemed to have thought of something and suddenly stared at Tsing Hui. You can know the term Son of Chaos? You're also a Son of Chaos? Tsing Hui nodded. No wonder. Nailin Fei sighed and was sincerely happy for Tsing Hui. No wonder you cultivated to the true energy realm in less than 2 years. I originally thought that you had obtained the inheritance of some powerhouse, but now it seems that the inheritance you obtained is even more astonishing than I imagined. To be able to become a Son of Chaos, this kind of opportunity is no less than being taken in as a personal disciple by a hall master or even a 6th stage longevity powerhouse. Tsing Hui nodded slightly. The inheritance of a Son of Chaos was indispensable for him to be able to achieve such achievements. When Yen Huang heard Tsing Hui actually bring up this question that could expose his identity as a Son of Chaos, his gaze was fixed on Nailin Fei. As long as Nailin Fei had any intention of revealing Tsing Hui's identity, he would not hesitate to use thunderous means to eliminate her in one fell swoop. Although, if they were to really fight to the death, Nailin Fei's combat strength was actually above Yen Huang's. You guessed right, I am indeed a Son of Chaos, Nailin Fei generously admitted. After that, she glanced at Blazing Glory, who was full of vigilance, and said with a faint smile, if I remember correctly, in an organization called Dawn, there is a Son of Chaos whose code name is Blazing Glory. Yen Huang's expression changed slightly. Auntie is trustworthy, Tsing Hui said. Since Tsing Hui had said so, Yen Huang could not hide it any longer. I am Yen Huang of Dawn. No need to be so surprised, I am from Sky Dome. Sky Dome? Yen Huang's expression changed drastically, and his gaze towards Nailin Fei was filled with a trace of reverence. Sky Dome? What's the difference? Tsing Hui asked. Sky Dome is one of the most famous top-tier organizations in the Chaos Temple. Among the hundreds and thousands of Sons of Chaos in the Chaos Temple, it definitely ranks in the top 10. Yen Huang fiercely swallowed his saliva. When he mentioned the 2 words, Tianqiong, his eyes were filled with yearning. The entire Chaos Temple, it should be known that the Chaos Divine Palace did not refer to the Eastern Wilderness. It included all the islands after the Divine Wilderness was destroyed. Even the Infinite Wasteland, which was the center of the world, was included. To be able to rank in the top 10 of the entire Chaos Temple, that kind of strength could be imagined. Yen Huang forcefully suppressed the shock in his heart. He looked at Nailin Fei and asked in confusion, as far as I know, only those who have cultivated divine-grade astral energy are qualified to join Tianqiong. Why, this has to do with the inheritance I obtained. The inheritance I obtained was from an almighty who had reached rank 25 in the Chaos and cultivated the incarnation art. And that almighty was from Sky Dome. Nailin Fei sighed. You all know that some almighty beings like to send their incarnations to roam the continent in search of items that have escaped the net. That almighty Bei Shao was one of them. Searching for an incarnation of an item that has carried the Tao often requires very strong psychic energy to be able to sense the location of the item on a large scale. It is precisely because of this that even though Bei Zhao's main body was suddenly destroyed, his incarnation was still able to survive for a short period of time. By chance, just as his incarnation was about to dissipate, I foresaw it and obtained his chaos inheritance. Yan Huang and Tsing Hui found this inconceivable. The inheritance of a rank 25 son of chaos had inexplicably delivered to their doorstep? As expected, there was no best in a chaos inheritance, only better. It was the same with opportunities. Bei Xiao was an upper echelon of Sky Dome and had countless friends. When I obtained his inheritance and entered the Chaos Temple, because I was new and did not understand the wonders of the Chaos Dimension, I was invited into the personal dimension of the Sky Dome Lord when I obtained the inheritance, thus exposing myself. Fortunately, perhaps because Sky Dome paid more attention to fate, or perhaps because they did not know where my main body was, they did not track me down and kill me. Instead, they invited me to join Sky Dome and become a part of it. One of them, a son of chaos who was Bei Xiao's Dao companion, Zi Xiao, even took me in as his disciple and taught me cultivation. Nayland Fei's expression dimmed. Unfortunately, even though Master Zi Xiao imparted to me all sorts of methods to condense stellar energy, I, who had only awakened the Azure Luan bloodline, was unable to condense divine-grade stellar energy and was unable to obtain the approval of the others in Sky Dome. Azure Luan. This was a divine beast similar to the phoenix. Although it was classified as a holy beast, it was not good at fighting, and its bloodline was slightly inferior to that of a phoenix. But although it did not possess great fighting strength, the Azure Luan possessed an enviable hidden talent, and that was luck. This was a kind of auspicious holy beast, which was a holy beast that could increase the attribute of luck. Those who awakened the bloodline of this holy beast might not be able to dazzle others in battle, but they would often be able to obtain incredible opportunities. Sky Dome is enough to intimidate the Hunyuan Heaven Sect Master. Yan Huang said, although Sky Dome's headquarters is far away in Heaven Wasteland, if it's a mighty expert above the 25th stage of the Chaos Dimension, they can use the incarnation technique to descend upon our eastern wilderness. A 5th or even 6th stage saint expert can use the incarnation sword will alone to heavily injure the majority of experts. If they are willing to expend Yuan Qi to project their power over, even if they are only at the 4th or 5th stage of the longevity realm, they can contend against the Hunyuan Heaven Sect. Qing Su nodded when he heard that. No wonder no one accepted you as a disciple even though Miss Nayland has clearly cultivated saint-grade astral qi. It turns out that you already have a master. If a mighty expert of Heaven Wasteland accepted you as a disciple, the other elders of the Hunyuan Heaven Sect naturally can't interfere too much. Nayland Fei nodded. In fact, the sect master gave me a high-grade divine artifact with the intention of forming good karma. The 10 great sacred sects may also have chaos organizations or large sects behind them. Perhaps they are not as strong as Sky Dome, but the difference should not be too great. The forces behind the 10 great sacred sects? Yan Huang could not help but think of some 6th stage longevity realm experts. Some of them were actually not weaker than the sect masters and elders of the 10 great sacred sects, but they were still suppressed by the 10 great sacred sects. From the looks of it, this should be due to a deeper background. Tsing Hui glanced at Nayland Fei. Originally, if he could smoothly solve the problem of the Son of Chaos entering the 10 great sacred sects without being captured and interrogated, he could consider joining the Jinwu religion and use peaceful methods to plot the Jinwu religion's Great Sun Golden Crow art to avoid offending this colossus, but Nayland Fei could sit back and relax because of Sky Dome, and to enter Sky Dome, one must cultivate divine-grade astral qi to the spirit-refining realm. However, if he dared to break through to the spirit-refining realm, there would be an imbalance between the strong and the weak, and the Torch Dragon bloodline would inevitably devour the Golden Crow bloodline. From the looks of it, his plan to enter the Jinwu religion had failed. If he wanted to obtain the Great Sun Golden Crow art, he could only start from Xian Yan and Lai Weong. Dragon Monarch Zhang Jiuxiao, Scarlet Flame Deity Zhang Shui, and Bai Yu often act together in order to prevent Miss Nayland from assassinating them. Killing them is difficult. Another one worth mentioning is Situ Qiushui. In my opinion, we should first kill Situ Qiushui, then kill the other spirit-refining cultivators. As long as we kill all the spirit-refining cultivators of the Lorraine Kingdom, we will be able to intimidate the others and make them think clearly about whether it is worth it to die for a rank 4 divine weapon. Then let's kill Sidu Qiushui first. Xing Hui said. There were many spirit refining cultivators in the primal chaos heaven sect's territory, but more than 80% of them belonged to the Hunyuan heaven sect or were related to it. Killing 4 spirit refining cultivators in one go was enough to set off a large-scale storm among the loose cultivators in the Hunyuan heaven sect's territory. It is inconvenient for me to make a move, so I can only wish you all a smooth journey, Nayland Fei said. The rank 4 divine weapon, Soaring Sky Sword, is enough. After Xing Hui finished speaking, he bid farewell to Yan Huang and left. Gongzi, what's the arrangement? Since we want to use it to intimidate all the spirit refining and true qi cultivators who are eager to make a move for the rank 4 divine weapon, then we will fight openly. After Xing Hui finished speaking, he took the lead and walked out of the courtyard. Yan Huang hurriedly followed. When they arrived at the entrance of the courtyard, Bai Lanxing, who had already received news of the 3 elders of the Nayland clan slacking off, said with a worried face, Prince Xing Hui, at this critical moment, please do not go out for the time being. If you follow beside Miss Nayland, she can still use these spirit-refining cultivators to slightly protect you. But once you leave the courtyard, all the cultivators who have their eyes on you will definitely swarm you, no matter, Yan Huang. If there are people who do not know what's good for them, kill as many as they come. Xing Hui said. Yes, Gongzi. Yan Huang said solemnly. At this time, Bai Lanxing and the rest saw Yan Huang, who was following behind Xing Hui. Although Yan Huang did not reveal his earth qi, the aura around him from time to time caused Bai Lanxing to be shocked. This earth qi realm? Xing Hui nodded and stepped out of the courtyard with Yan Huang. But Prince Xing Hui, even if you really find a spirit-refining cultivator as a guard, it will still be insufficient. Right now, there are a total of 6 spirit-refining cultivators in the Luolin capital. Xing Hui did not bother with Bai Lanxing and walked out of the courtyard with Yan Huang. Taking large strides, they went straight to Sidu Qiushui's residence. On the way, Yan Huang intentionally or unintentionally released his aura as a spirit-refining cultivator, causing those true qi cultivators and even awakening cultivators who came for the rank 4 divine weapon to feel a chill in their hearts. Without anyone taking the lead, they did not dare to make a move first. After all, no matter how high the reward was, they still needed to be alive to enjoy it. Under such circumstances, when they arrived at Sidu Qiushui's residence, it was unexpectedly calm. Sidu Qiushui? Their target is actually Sidu Qiushui? Sidu Qiushui is a spirit-refining cultivator who has been famous for many years. They are actually so confident. Even if Nayland Fei were to personally make a move, she would have to spend a lot of effort to deal with Sidu Qiushui. These two, Master has not arrived yet? Quickly pass the news to Master. The two stood outside Sidu Qiushui's residence and let those cultivators who were observing them in the dark to quickly pass the news. In the dark, there was an endless stream of spies coming and going. Xing Hui looked at those spies and said, seems like those spirit-refining cultivators who have received the news will be here soon. Yan Huang, to achieve the best result, end this quickly. Understood. I will go and deal with Sidu Qiushui now. Young Master, be careful of other people's sneak attacks. After Yan Huang finished speaking, he was about to barge into Sidu Qiushui's courtyard. But just as he stepped into the courtyard, before he could see the courtyard surroundings, a dazzling sword light brought along a biting cold current and completely swallowed Yan Huang's body. 16 sword shadows pierced Yan Huang's body at the same time. As long as the sword aura exploded, he would be torn into pieces. Chapter 85. What a fast sword. The aura chi cultivator that Cho Xing Hui brought did not even have time to react and was hit by the sword. As expected of the god-slaying sword Sidu Qiushui, who had killed more than one spirit-refining cultivator. Does that Cho Xing Hui think that with a spirit-refining cultivator as his bodyguard, he can show off in front of the god-slaying sword Sidu Qiushui? What a joke! So weak along with the death of Cho Xing Hui's bodyguard, only death awaits him. Seems like the rank 4 divine weapon will belong to Sidu Qiushui. Yan Huang was unable to resist Sidu Qiushui's sudden attack, causing an uproar among the spectators. Some of the scouts who had come on behalf of the spirit-refining cultivators were even more vexed. If they had known earlier that the Qing Su guards were so weak, they would have tried everything they could to get their masters to take action earlier and kill them. Not only were the spies vexed and shocked, even Sidu Qiushui was surprised that she was able to kill a spirit-refining cultivator with a single strike. Although she was surprised, the sword in her hand did not stop moving. Accompanied by a biting cold voice, a sharp sword aura erupted from the rank 3 upper-grade divine weapon in Sidu Qiushui's hand. Ping, pung, pung. The sword aura that shot out scattered and splashed onto the ground. In an instant, the courtyard's door was torn into pieces. The extremely sturdy door beam was slashed down by the sword aura, almost collapsing. However, even though his sword chi had caused such considerable damage, Sidu Qiushui, who originally had a victorious expression on her face, froze. Almost at the same time, a gloved right hand grabbed out through the air, ignoring the sword chi as if it was nothing, and grabbed the level 3 divine weapon in her hand. Just like that, a voice sounded. Yan Huang, who was clad in black armor, held onto Sidu Qiushui's sword. No matter how much chi she shot out, it could not do anything to Yan Huang. Rank 4 upper-grade profound water armor. Xing Hui glanced at the armor on Yan Huang's body. Originally, he wanted to take the armor for himself, but this armor was of the pure water attribute, and he had cultivated the Yang Qi. If he were to wear this rank 4 armor, its astonishing defense might not even be able to display 10% of its power. The armor on your body, Sidu Qiushui's eyes widened, and a trace of disbelief and fear flashed across her eyes. Rumble. Thunder roared. Earth chi erupted. Accompanied by a crisp sound, the level 3 upper-grade divine sword in Yan Huang's hand was actually broken by the full force of his saint-grade stellar energy. God-slaying sword. Sidu Qiushui's nickname was God Slayer. Her entire cultivation was focused on sword arts. Without a sharp sword, her battle prowess would drop by at least 40%. And at this time, Blazing Glory let out a low roar. The roar of a tiger and the cry of a dragon was like thunder, shaking the mind of the nearby Sidu Qiushui and causing her to feel dizzy. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Yan Huang took a step forward. His right hand ruthlessly stabbed forward. In an instant, it pierced through Sidu Qiushui's chest and grabbed her heart. Then he squeezed it hard. Die! The fear in Sidu Qiushui's eyes bloomed to the extreme. Then, like a burning meteor, it quickly dimmed God-slaying sword Sidu Qiushui, dead. Yan Huang put away the mystic water armor covering his body and slowly retracted the arm he had stabbed into Sidu Qiushui. Without the support of his arm, Sidu Qiushui's body fell limply to the ground. As for Yan Huang, he allowed the blood to continuously drip down his right hand. His gaze slowly swept over the spies, Awakening Realm, and True Qi Realm experts of the various factions who were spying in this direction. Wherever his gaze landed, all the cultivators lowered their heads in shock. Not a single person dared to meet his gaze. Dead Sidu Qiushui is dead. One move, God-slaying sword Sidu Qiushui was killed in one move. How is this possible? Too savage. Who is this expert that Xing Hui brought? On the street, a figure exploded with stellar energy and instantly appeared outside Sidu Qiushui's cave. It was Divine Flying Bat Yi Xuan. He rushed over as soon as he received the news, attempting to stop Qing Su and kill him so that he could obtain the reward for Fairy Jasper's Class 4 God artifact. However, when he arrived on the street, he just happened to see Blazing Glory crushing Sidu Qiushui's heart. His slightly excited expression immediately froze. Situ, coincidentally, at this moment, Yan Huang, who had heard the sound of breaking air, turned his gaze and landed on the divine flying bat, Yi Xuan, who was rushing over. The aura under his feet exploded, and the floor he stood on immediately shattered into pieces. Stone fragments flew everywhere, and he borrowed the force of the rebound to brazenly pounce forward like an arrow that had just left the bow, directly pouncing towards Yi Xuan, who had just arrived. Damn, Yan Huang pounced, and a terrifying thunderous pressure assaulted Yi Xuan's face, causing him to feel a sense of suffocation and despair. He couldn't block it. He couldn't block it at all. Intense fear welled up in Yi Shuahan's heart as he retreated as fast as he could, instantly widening the distance between them. What he had awakened was the blood bat bloodline. This was a famous top ferocious beast in the vast wasteland. Even though it was not a spirit beast, it relied on its innate ability to determine the location of Yan Huang's murderous aura. After that, it fled without any hesitation. Even Sidu Qiushui had died miserably at his opponent's hands. Yi Shuahan knew that he was far inferior to Sidu Qiushui. If he faced this savage, only death would await him. Whoosh! At this moment, Xing Hui, who had been standing to the side and almost ignored, made his move. Yan Huang's strength overshadowed everyone else's, attracting everyone's attention. Coupled with the fact that Yi Shuahan, Yan Huang, and the others were all great figures who had succeeded in refining spirit energy, Qing Su was clearly weaker in front of these great figures despite having cultivated true qi. But when Xing Hui truly attacked, everyone realized that they were wrong. Ridiculously wrong. One strike. Boundless radiance. In the void, it was as if a blazing meteor had appeared, carrying with it a lightning-like speed as it pierced out. Not only was this strike fast, but it also seemed to contain endless mysteries. It completely sealed off the space within 10 meters of Yi Shuahan. Unless he had the ability to teleport out of the 10-meter radius, no matter how he tried to block it, the strike would still be able to pierce through him like a hot knife through butter. The third strike of the Burning Heaven 13 Swords, Starfire Flowing Light. If I can't dodge, then I won't. A puny true Qi realm cultivator actually dares to bully me. That Yi Shuahan's eyes flashed with a trace of savagery. With a low roar, an incomparably cold spirit Qi suddenly erupted from his body and infused into the level 3 middle-grade dagger in his hand. With a trace of the aura of death, he charged towards Xing Hui's Soaring Heaven Sword of the Nine Heavens. As he attacked, he had already calculated the next steps. As long as his spirit Qi destroyed the Qi on Xing Hui's sword, he would take advantage of the situation and charge in, capturing Chou Xing Hui alive. Then, he would use Chou Xing Hui to force the terrifying spirit-refining realm cultivator. At that time, not only would he be able to capture Xing Hui and escape safely from the hands of the spirit-refining realm cultivator, he would also be able to bring Xing Hui's head to Fairy Baiyu and claim the level 4 divine weapon as his own. All sorts of thoughts flashed through Yi Shuahan's mind. But hope was beautiful. But when his spirit Qi collided with Xing Hui's Qi, the illusion of snow being exposed to the scorching sun caused his expression to change greatly. Bang! Qi and spirit Qi exploded. Compared to vital Qi, Gang Qi was clearly several times more solid and powerful. However, at this moment, Gang Qi that Yi Shuahan had unleashed was rapidly melting under the bombardment of Qiyang vital Qi and was pierced through. That was not all. While the high-grade 4th-grade soaring sword possessed sharpness, it also gave Qing Su unparalleled speed. In the moment Yi Shuahan's aura was dispersed by the true Qi of Scarlet Yang, the soaring sword stabbed out, piercing Yi Shuahan's right hand that held the dagger. Afterwards, with a jolt and a flick of the sword, half of Yi Shuahan's wrist was ripped apart by the true Qi and sharpness that erupted from the edge of the sword. Blood spurted everywhere. Yi Shuahan's arm was crippled. The intense pain caused him to scream, "How is this possible? Your Qi can actually you have cultivated to Saint grade no, divine grade, Xiao?" Without waiting for Yi Shuahan to finish his sentence, Blazing Glory followed up with a thunderous strike, landing heavily on Yi Shuahan's back. Rumble! Thunder roared. Yi Shuahan's body exploded on the spot. Flying Godbat Yi Shuahan died. In the blink of an eye, 2 of the 6 hostile spirit-refining cultivators had died. This scene shocked all the spectators. Damn it, who is that? Ordinary spirit-refining cultivators are no match for him. Could it be a peak spirit-refining cultivator? If Chou Xing Hui really invited such a strong cultivator to protect him, all the spirit-refining cultivators in Luo Lin's royal family would not be able to do anything to him. Spirit-refining realm, that's a spirit-refining cultivator, and he died just like that? Other than the members of Hunyuan Heaven sect, Spirit refining cultivators are the strongest cultivators in the surrounding 24 countries. Every one of them is famous and can suppress mountains and rivers. Yet, they were killed so easily by the person in front of us? With such a fierce person, who can do anything to Cho Tsing-hui? Quickly report this news to the sect leader. Our Yuan sect will withdraw from this matter. Otherwise, it will bring disaster to the entire sect. For a battle of this level, our Immortal Fist sect will only die if we intervene. There's always someone better than us. A rank 4 divine weapon is indeed not something our Immortal Fist sect can covet. The atmosphere of fear quickly spread among the spectators. Before Tsing-hui could chase them away, at least half of the spies had left. Even those who did not leave had a look of horror on their faces, extinguishing any thoughts of killing Tsing-hui for the rank 4 divine weapon. Young master. Yen Huang shook off the blood on his hands and respectfully came to Tsing-hui's side. At the same time, he handed over Situ Qiushui's sword. This Situ Qiushui has another divine weapon. Rank 3 upper grade, the same grade as my Qingshao sword. Unfortunately, it's a water attribute. I'll use it first. Tsing-hui received the sword. The Soaring Sky Sword was Nayland Fei's personal sword, and it was impossible for him to keep it forever. Ordinary level 1 or even level 2 divine weapons simply couldn't withstand his overbearing and blazing scarlet yang true qi. If he really poured his true qi into the weapon, let alone unleashing its power, it would already be a miracle if the scarlet yang true qi didn't melt it. Chapter 86. It's my fault. Yen Huang felt very awkward. Tsing-hui's green firmament sword, it was destroyed by him. Don't worry, young master. That green netherworld realm expert's divine weapon was either destroyed or used by me. However, that green netherworld realm expert, who was at level 14 chaotic realm, took out many precious ores and treasures to bribe me in order to save his life. I've kept those things. I'm sure young master will be able to forge a satisfactory divine weapon. If there are any precious ores along the way, you can buy them. Yes? Tsing-hui nodded and glanced around. It seems that killing Situ Qiushui and Yi Shuahan was effective. However, this kind of deterrence is not enough. Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe seem to be together? Our next target is to kill these two. Killing them is the same as cutting off all of Biyu's spies. When the time comes, I'd like to see if she'll come personally with her men or hide in Eastern Cloud Imperial Capital like a coward. Tsing-hui and Yen Huang did not stop and went straight to Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe's courtyard. This scene once again aroused the spirits of those busybodies, and they followed one after another. As Tsing-hui had not appeared before, although Bai Yu and Nayland Fei kept fighting, it was not intense. Although there were casualties on both sides, most of them were ordinary warriors in the Viscera Refining Realm and Blood Changing Realm. In more than half a year, the number of Awakening Realm and True Qi Realm powerhouses that were lost did not exceed 20. For example, the Pentashade Dragon King's 5 True Qi Realm powerhouses and more than a dozen Awakening Realm powerhouses were killed by Tsing-hui. This could be said to be the most tragic one. Because the main character was not present, Bai Yu did not come to the Lorraine Kingdom. She only used various methods to search for Tsing-hui's whereabouts. At the same time, she suppressed all forces related to him in a futile attempt to force him out of hiding. Now that Tsing-hui had truly appeared, Bai Yu, who wanted to avenge her brother, would truly begin to madly retaliate with all her might. However, Tsing-hui obviously did not intend to give her the opportunity to accumulate enough strength. Master, something bad has happened. At the corner of the street that was less than a kilometer away from Situ Qiushui, a middle-aged man with Awakening Realm cultivation bumped into Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe who were walking towards him. He quickly panicked. Without waiting for the middle-aged man to reply, Wang Zhe impatiently asked, "Something bad happened? Was Cho Tsing-hui killed? Since he dared to step out of the Zhua clan's courtyard, he should have at least one spirit refining cultivator by his side, right? Please don't die so easily. This is related to a level 4 divine weapon." No. Cho Tsing-hui is safe and sound, but Situ Qiushui, as well as Yi Shuahan, who rushed over, were killed. Furthermore, what? Situ Qiushui and Yi Xuahan, who rushed over later, were all killed? This is impossible. Old Hu, did you see wrongly? Situ Qiushui is a famous spirit refining cultivator. If not for the treasure that young Miss bestowed upon us, even if the two of us joined hands, we might not be able to defeat Situ Qiushui. Could it be that Nailan Feng, Nailan Hong, and Nailan Xing made a move together? It's absolutely true. Master, that Qing Su and the spirit refining cultivator beside him are heading in this direction and will be here soon. We should retreat first and wait for the other cultivators sent by ferry by you to arrive before we plan, Chao Zhendao? Wang Zhe. Very good, I didn't expect you to be here. This saves me the time to go and take your lives one by one. Before the middle-aged man finished speaking, Xing Hui and Yan Huang's figures had appeared at the same time. Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe looked at Xing Hui and Yan Huang with a dignified expression. Although Cho Xing Hui has reached the true Qi realm, which is inconsistent with the information we received, it is still not worth mentioning. We just need to be careful of the rank 3 divine weapon on him. The key is the middle-aged man beside him. We have the spiritual communication bracelet that young Miss gave us, which allows us to communicate mentally. In addition, the two of us have fought together for more than 10 times in the past few years. If we join hands, we can display the effect of 1 + 1 is greater than 2. We have the confidence to defeat Situ Qiushui, so it is not impossible for us to kill him. As long as we kill him, the remaining true Qi realm Cho Xing Hui will be at our mercy. Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe reached a consensus in an instant. They did not evade and went forward directly. Masters, you can't. Old Hu, who knew how terrifying Yan Huang was, exclaimed, that spirit refining cultivator's strength has definitely reached the peak of the spirit refining realm. Moreover, he has a treasure armor that could block Situ Qiushui's sword. It is most likely a rank 4 treasure armor. Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe, who were full of confidence, froze on the spot when they heard Old Hu's words. Peak spirit refining strength? Rank 4 treasure armor? How could he continue to fight happily like this? Fortunately, the two of them knew when to yield and when not to. After confirming that Old Hu would not lie to them, they retreated. Just then 2 figures whizzed over. Your Excellency Chao Zhendao, Your Excellency Wang Zhe, the person Zhuo Qingshu brought with him has a high cultivation base and is extremely ferocious. None of the 4 of us is a match for him. Why don't we join forces? At that time, if we really obtain a rank 4 divine weapon, the 4 of us will share it equally. Following the arrival of the 2 figures, they were the other 2 spirit refining cultivators in the city, crafty assassin Shadow and poison gentleman Tong Ping. That's exactly what I was thinking. The 2 of us will be facing his bodyguard head-on. We'll have to trouble Your Excellency Slaughterer Shadow to hold him back and provide assistance. Your Excellency Injustice is proficient in poisons. You can capture Zhuo Qingshu alive and hand him over to Fairy Biyu. I believe that a living Zhuo Qingshu is definitely more valuable than a dead one. Just a small true Qi realm cultivator. Leave it to me. Tong Ping laughed and took the lead to charge towards Xing Hui. Chao Zhendao, Wang Zhe, and Assassin Shadow followed closely behind to block Yan Huang. Young Master. Although Yan Huang was confident in Xing Hui's strength, he could not help but call out. Your opponent is me. If you don't want the people you are protecting to die in vain, you better surrender. Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe both took out their rank 3 divine weapons. Their bodies were covered with earth energy and they did not dare to relax. The 2 of you are courting death. Yan Huang's eyes were overflowing with coldness as he directly faced the 2 rank 3 divine weapons that were bombarding him. His black water armor was integrated with his Gang Qi as streams of light swirled around him. Then, he stretched out his right hand and the sharp claws of a rank 4 divine weapon tore through the void. The friction between the Gang Qi and the airflow caused a violent air explosion in the void, causing Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe's faces to turn extremely ugly. Damn it, his weapon is also a rank 4 divine weapon. Our attacks may not be able to break his rank 4 armor, but if his claws land on us, we will definitely die. Retreat. The two spirit-refining cultivators quickly realized the advantages and disadvantages of each other and immediately switched from offense to defense. Two rank 3 divine weapons collided with Yan Huang's rank 4 gloves. Bang! Sparks flew. Earth energy surged. Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe felt their palms tremble violently. A terrifying force passed through their arms and blasted into their bodies, causing them to fly backward. They almost lost their grip on the divine weapons in their hands and almost lost their grip on them. While Yan Huang was fighting with Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe, Assassin Shadow's attack came at the right time. The rank 3 mid-grade dagger aimed at Yan Huang's throat, Wang Wang. When the dagger collided with the mystic water armor infused with stellar energy, it did not cause any damage except for a ripple. Damn it, this is definitely not an ordinary rank 4 artifact armor. It is most likely a mid-grade or even a high-grade artifact armor. Assassin Shadow cursed and was about to leave. If the attack did not hit, he would flee 1,000 miles away. You want to leave? Not so easy. Yan Huang's eyes lit up. He was a talented fighter. When his claw collided with Chao Zhendao's and Wang Zhe's attacks, not only did Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe retreat, but he also made use of the rebounding force from their weapons to turn his body around. He clenched his claw into a fist and punched towards Tu Ying with a thunderous force. Rumble! Thunder roared. The fist force exploded through the void with a special force, causing Assassin Shadow to feel dizzy. Not good. Slaughter Shadow, who had forced himself to wake up from his dizziness, instantly felt a suffocating wind pressure coming at him. Before he could react, Blazing Glory's attack, which carried the weight of Mount Tai, had already collided with his head. Bang! Even with the protection of his chi shield, Slaughter Shadow's head exploded like a watermelon hit by a sniper bullet under Yan Huang's fist force. He died on the spot. Assassin Shadow? Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe felt a chill run down their spines when they saw that Tu Ying had been killed by Yan Huang in an instant. When Yan Huang killed Assassin Shadow and turned to fight Chao Zhendao and Wang Zhe, Xing Hui also fought against Poison Gentleman. As soon as Poison Gentleman Tong Ping Ping made his move, he shot out 108 steel needles in one breath using a mechanical prop. Each steel needle flickered with a cold light, soaked in a deadly poison that could kill upon contact with blood. 108 needles shot out together like a torrential rain of pear blossoms. Unfortunately, Xing Hui's Red Sun True Chi could even incinerate a ranked god weapon, let alone poison steel needles. Clang! The sword was unsheathed. As the soaring sword was unleashed, the blazing Red Sun Real Chi transformed into a raging flame that swept across the space in front of him. Hundreds of steel needles were instantly melted into molten iron, and all the air along the way was burned into nothingness. It was the second sword of the 13 swords of the burning heaven, Prairie Blazing Fire. Such true chi? Poison Gentleman could tell that the Red Sun sword was extraordinary. He thought that Xing Hui's true chi was so powerful because of the sword. Before he could take out a fan-shaped god weapon that was stained with poison, Xing Hui had already taken the initiative to attack. Xing Hui became one with his sword in the exploding flames and arrived in front of Tong Booping in an instant. Before the sword arrived, the rolling flames on the sword arrived first. The rolling heat forced Tong Booping to use his earth energy and retreat temporarily. As he retreated, the outcome of the battle seemed to have been set. The speed of the 9 heaven soaring swords attack doubled as Tong Booping's figure retreated. The speed increase of this level 4 god weapon was fully demonstrated by Xing Hui. Tong Booping's earth energy, which could block 90% of the True Chi realm's attacks, was like paper in front of the soaring sword. The sword was out. In the sword. Chapter 87. Chi. The sword struck. In the sword. The tip of the soaring sky sword pierced Poison Gentleman Tong Booping's throat. Blood splattered everywhere. Poison Gentleman Tong Booping died. Xing Hui kept his sword and stood quietly at the side. It had to be said that due to the fact that it was very difficult for the people of this world to conceal the ripples of power they gave off, they were extremely superstitious about their own cultivation realms. Just like Poison Gentleman, They believed that they could completely play with Qing Su in the palm of their hands. When they attacked, they would actually try to capture him alive instead of killing him directly. As a result, how could they defeat Qing Su, who wielded the soaring sky sword, whose strength was no weaker than a late spirit refining cultivator? Of course, even if Tong Buping concentrated and went all out, the result would still not change. At most, he would be able to hold on a little longer. The green ruin's sword shuddered, and in the next moment he kicked off with his feet and shot out like an arrow. He arrived behind Chao Zhendao, who had been forced back by blazing glory in a single instance. Before he had even arrived, the sharpness of the sword arrived first, shocking Chao Zhendao to the point where all his hairs stood on end. Damn it! Tong Buping is actually so useless! Chao Zhendao roared. The aura qi around his body twisted and fiercely slapped behind him. The friction between the aura qi and the airflow caused bursts of qi explosions in the air, shaking the ground until it cracked. Master, you can't. The weapon in his hand is at least a high-grade rank 4 spirit weapon. Under the support of the spirit weapon, his true qi is not something ordinary aura qi can resist. Old who witnessed how Tong Buping died, turned pale with fright and sternly shouted. However, no matter how fast his voice was, how could it be faster than Tsing Hui's sword? Flames burst out, and gold and iron intersected. Chao Zhendao activated his Gang Qi and turned around to strike the soaring sword with his palm. Although it shattered the crimson yang genuine qi contained in the soaring sword, it had no effect on the body of the soaring sword. The biting cold sword pierced through Chao Zhendao's body at an incredible speed as he tried his best to dodge. Although it did not pierce through any vital parts, it still left a dark red sword wound on his shoulder. Most importantly, this sword forced him to try his best to dodge, causing him to lose his balance. Yan Huang immediately seized the opportunity. Die! Yan Huang let out a low roar and thunder rumbled all over his body. Under the stimulation of the thunder force, his speed skyrocketed. His fist, which contained a terrifying power, arrived in front of Chao Zhendao in an instant. Chao Zhendao, who was powerless to dodge, widened his eyes and shouted in horror, "Wang Zhe, save me!" Not good. Wang Zhe, who had telepathy and was connected to Chao Zhendao's mind, instantly sensed Chao Zhendao's danger. He roared as he activated the Gang Qi in his body and viciously slashed at Yan Huang's body. Die! However, Yan Huang, who was relying on the Blackwater armor, completely did not place Wang Zhe's explosive attack in his eyes. At the same time that the protective aura circulating around his body was slashed by Wang Zhe, the extremely thunderous attack had already struck Wang Zhe head-on, and then, his strength exploded. Boom! Blood spurted out. Chao Zhendao, who was hit by Blazing Glory's punch, had a huge hole in his chest. He died on the spot under his horrified gaze. As for Yan Huang, who was hit by Wang Zhe's attack, other than being pushed a few steps forward by the inertia of the attack, the ground on the street was torn apart. He did not suffer any injuries. The Blackwater armor was a rank 4 upper-grade armor, and Yan Huang himself was a powerful person who had condensed holy rank Gang Qi. Even if Tsing Hui used the divine technique to increase his attack attribute to 38, ordinary attacks would not be able to break through the defense of the Blackwater armor in a short period of time, let alone a mere Wang Zhe. Brat, have you thought about how you want to die? Yan Huang rushed a few steps forward, suppressing his slightly surging qi and blood. He suddenly turned his head and stared at Wang Zhe with a ferocious expression. Being stared at by Yan Huang, who had killed 4 spirit-refining cultivators, Wang Zhe felt a bone-piercing chill surging up his body, causing him to feel a chill all over his body. Cho Tsing Hui actually recruited such a terrifying helper. Run. At this moment, there was only one thought left in his mind. The next moment, he had already retreated and rushed in the opposite direction of Yan Huang with his fastest speed. He only wanted to get as far away from this demon as possible. Shio. At the same time Wang Zhe retreated, the soaring sky sword's edge had already reached him, completely sealing off the space he was retreating in. Did I say you could leave? Thousand Mirror World. Facing Tsing Hui's interception, Wang Zhe's eyes suddenly burst out with an aghast light. The next moment, his figure seemed to have turned into 6, fleeing in 6 different directions at the same time. Illusion? Xing Hui instantly understood Wang Zhe's method. Unfortunately, even if his 1,000-mirror world was used against Yan Huang, it would more or less have some effect. After all, Yan Huang's spirit was only rank 34. But Xing Hui break. Following Xing Hui's loud shout, the 2 brilliant suns in the spiritual world bloomed at the same time. A blazing majestic sword intent was like the sun rising from the east, slowly rising, blossoming with boundless radiance, as if it wanted to pierce through the haze and darkness of the entire world. Wang Wang. The ripples dissipated. Wang Zhe's pale face after using the 1,000-mirror world suddenly appeared clearly in front of him. His body shook as the soaring sky sword stabbed again, piercing through Wang Zhe's heart under his disbelieving gaze. You're actually not afraid of my illusion, Qi. Xing Hui pulled out his sword, bringing out a cluster of blood. Xiu. Yan Huang's figure landed in front of Xing Hui. Young master. After speaking, he looked at Wang Zhe, who had been stabbed, and was a little surprised. I didn't expect Wang Zhe to be able to use his talent. I don't know what kind of fortuitous encounter he had. Talent, usually, only when one reached the prominent divine stage and manifested their battle physique would they be able to activate the talent of their bloodline. Just like Xing Hui, when he manifested the Torch Dragon battle physique or the Golden Crow battle physique, he would be immune to 99% of the fire damage in the world, and the power of his fire techniques would be doubled. If he could reach the divine power stage of the Saint stage, he would be able to turn his Red Sun True Force into the Great Sun True Fire, which would be able to burn the heavens and destroy the earth. The divine power stage was also the dividing line between the different bloodlines. If one could maintain the divine beast bloodline and cultivate to the divine power stage and derive a divine beast level divine power, it would be as easy as eating and drinking. However, the probability was too low. In the 10 great sacred sects, there might be 1 or 2 divine beast bloodline awakening divine beast bloodline awakening divine beast bloodline awakening divine beast bloodline awakening divine chi awakening divine beast bloodline awakening divine beast bloodline awakening divine chi awakening divine beast bloodline awakening divine beast bloodline awakening divine chi awakening divine beast bloodline awakening divine beast bloodline awakening divine chi awakening divine beast bloodline awakening Divine Beast Bloodline Awakening Divine Chi Awakening Divine Beast Bloodline Awakening Divine Beast Bloodline Awakening Divine Chi Awakening Divine Beast Bloodline Awakening Divine Beast Bloodline Awakening Divine. For example, the Jin Wu religion only had 12 people, including those in the true Chi stage. If the aura energy stage was already like this, then there was the prominent divine stage and the true energy stage of the saint stage, which required one to cultivate divine grade true force. Divine grade bloodline, true chi, aura energy, battle physique, true energy, divine power. Every step was difficult. As long as there was a problem at every step, the divine grade bloodline would fall back to the divine grade, and if one wanted to cultivate it again, they would have to pay 10 times, 100 times, or even 1,000 times the price. From this, one could see how precious divine grade divine power was. Young master, what should we do next? Xing Hui glanced at Yan Huang, and then at the surrounding spies, who were so shocked that they did not dare to breathe, and said, I remember that in addition to the warship on Dragonchant Island, there is another warship that belongs to my aunt docked at the airport. It's too troublesome to passively wait for BU to bring people to kill us, and we don't know how much time it will waste. Let's just go directly to the Eastern Cloud Imperial Capital. I believe that as long as we are fast enough, before the news here reaches the Eastern Sun Imperial Capital, as long as I show myself, BU will definitely bring people to kill us. At that time, as long as we kill BU, this matter will naturally be resolved perfectly. Yan Huang's expression changed when he heard this. Young master, this is too dangerous. According to Miss Naylan, BU has received a treasure from the Void Origin Peak Master, so she can't be considered weak. Meanwhile, the Dragon Monarch Zhang Jiuxiao and the Scarlet Flame Fairy Zhang Shui by her side are not weaker than the god-slaying sword Sidu Qiushui. If the 3 of them attack together, I may not be able to win, and young master, if you rashly use a divine art or secret technique, if someone sees through it and spreads the news that you are a rank 10 son of chaos, there will be no end of trouble in the future. Xing Hui nodded. The temptation of a rank 10 son of chaos was far greater than that of a rank 2 son of chaos. One had to know that in the entire East Baron, the Create Evolve Mystical Gates Patriarch, Dao Xuani, was only at the 16th level. Many of the Sacred Grounds Hall Masters and Law Kings were only at the 1st or 2nd level of the Primal Chaos. A rank 10 son of chaos, even if he inherited it, would be at rank 5. If it was exposed, it would definitely attract the attention of those who did not have rank 10 son of chaos or those with lower rank 10 son of chaos. The unspoken rule of the cultivation world was that only those in the Qingming realm could maintain a rank 10 son of chaos. As for those above rank 15, they would have to start from the Saint realm. Young master, if you are willing to follow me, we might as well make a trip overseas. I still have a few good friends overseas. As long as we are willing to pay a price, they will definitely be willing to help us deal with Biyu. Yan Huang said. Overseas. Hearing that, Xing Hui nodded. All right, then let's head overseas. We have already killed all the spies that Biyu placed in Luolin Kingdom. The death of the 6 spirit refining realm cultivators should be enough to deter those rogue cultivators who came for the bounty. The Zhuo family can be considered safe for the time being. Then it will be easy. The overseas cultivators have always been hostile to the disciples of the 10 great sections. Some of them would even go deep into the mainland from time to time to kill the direct disciples of the 10 great sections. After all, the direct disciples of the 10 great sects are all rich. Killing one of them would save them a few decades of searching for resources. That Biyu was given a treasure by the Sky Origin Peak Lord, so her wealth should not be bad. As long as we go overseas, we will definitely be able to get enough help. Yan Huang said with a smile. Let's see how Biyu reacts first. If she knows that I have appeared and killed all the experts she recruited, then she will rush towards Luolin Kingdom. We will get rid of her once and for all. Hence, we will set off 3 days later. Yes, young master. Chapter 88. Xing Hui and Yan Huang casually returned to Nayland Fei's courtyard. They did not even inform anyone, including Nayland Fei. Bai Lanxing and the rest who were guarding the door only knew that Xing Hui had gone out. They did not inquire further. However, the death of 6 spirit refining cultivators was an earth-shattering news to the Lorraine Kingdom that did not have a single spirit refining cultivator. It was hard not to cause an earthquake. Therefore, in just a short 2 hours, the news swept through the entire Lorraine Kingdom like a storm. Even if Bai Lanxing and the rest did not deliberately inquire about it, the news still inevitably reached their ears. When he received the news, Bai Lanxing felt a little stupefied. After repeatedly searching for people to verify, he immediately rushed to Nayland Fei's study as fast as he could. In the study room, other than Nayland Fei, Nayland Hong, Nayland Xing, and 4 other true Qi cultivators were talking to Nayland Fei. When Bai Lanxing stepped in, he heard Nayland Fei's dissatisfied snort. Since we no longer need people from the Nayland clan here, we will naturally return home. As for what will happen to the ordinary people from the Zhuo clan, it has nothing to do with us. Elders, are you really going to do this? Isn't it just discussing the matter as it is? We don't want to either, but this is what you keep forcing us. We have no choice. Nayland Fei was about to say something, but at this moment, she glanced at Bai Lanxing who was coming in this direction. She immediately asked, Is something the matter? Good news, great news. Bai Lanxing understood that the current situation was unfavorable to his miss and did not hesitate to throw out the news. According to the report we just received, Prince Xing Hui and his good friend, Lord Yan Huang, directly attacked Sidu Qiushui's courtyard. They killed God-slaying sword Sidu Qiushui on the spot and then killed flying deity bat Yi Shuihan who wanted to take advantage of the situation. Not only that, after killing the 2 spirit-refining cultivators, Prince Xing Hui and Lord Yan Huang went straight to Chao Jindao's courtyard. On the way, they encountered music sage Chao Jindao and mirror immortal Wang Zhe. After that, poisonous gentleman Tong Buping and Tuing followed. After a great battle, Lord Yan Huang and Prince Tsinghui killed all 4 spirit-refining cultivators. What? Hearing Bai Lanxing's report in such a fast tone, everyone present, except for Nalan Fei who had some understanding of their strength, could not help but be shocked. This is impossible. Those were 6 spirit-refining cultivators, and Situ Qiushui was a famous figure in the spirit-refining realm. How could he be killed by someone? Nalan Sheng looked at Bai Lanxing sternly. You're not spouting nonsense just to boost morale, are you? What I said is absolutely true. Bai Lanxing vowed, this news has already spread throughout the entire Luo Lin kingdom. The process of Prince Tsinghui and Lord Yan Huang killing the 6 spirit-refining cultivators was witnessed by many people. If the 2 elders do not believe me, you can send people to investigate. Very soon, you will be able to obtain the detailed information. When Nalan Xing was about to speak, it seemed that Nalan Feng, who was responsible for inquiring about the news or putting pressure on Nalan Fei, rushed in. Before he arrived, his voice was heard first. 2 elders, the situation has changed. When he rushed into the courtyard and saw Bai Lanxing reporting the news, as well as the shocked Nalan Xing and Nalan Hong, he seemed to understand something, and his face suddenly changed. Nalan Xing did not care whether Nalan Fei was present or not and quickly asked, just now, this person said that Chou Tsinghui and a spirit-refining cultivator called Yan Huang killed the 6 spirit-refining cultivators that Baiyu recruited. Is there such a thing? Nalan Feng wanted to say that this news was nonsense, but under the watchful eyes of the crowd, he could not distort the truth. He could only bitterly nod his head. There is such a thing. That Chou Tsinghui got acquainted with a spirit-refining cultivator from who knows where. Not only is his cultivation not weaker than a late-stage spirit-refining cultivator, he is also wearing a rank 4 armor and a rank 4 divine weapon. Relying on his cultivation and the advantage of his divine weapon, Situ Qiushui, Yi Shuahan, Chao Zhendao, Wang Zhe and the others were not his opponents and were quickly killed by him. When Nalan Sheng and Nalan Hong heard this, their faces sank. 6 spirit-refining cultivators were all dead. One must know that the area under the jurisdiction of the 10 great sects was different from the overseas. In the 10 great sects area of influence, there were not many spirit-refining cultivators. Moreover, all of them were more or less related to the Hunyuan Heaven sect. Very few people were willing to rashly intervene in the battle between 2 spirit-refining true disciples. This was also the reason why Fairy Baiyu was only able to attract 4 spirit-refining cultivators after half a year of relying on the reward of a rank 4 divine weapon. Now that the 4 spirit-refining cultivators and the 2 spirit-refining cultivators under Baiyu had died, in the next few months, it would be impossible to form such a large scale again. Even if Baiyu still had Dragon Monarch Zhang Jiuxiao and Scarlet Flame Deity Zhang Shui by her side, but if the 2 of them joined forces, they would only be comparable to Situ Qiushui and the other 5 spirit-refining cultivators. That peak character called Yan Huang was able to defeat Situ Qiushui and the other 5 spirit-refining cultivators. Naturally, he could also defeat Zhang Jiuxiao and Zhang Shui. Could be said that with the arrival of Yan Huang, the battle between Fairy Baiyu and Nalan Fei had already changed. It was even possible that it would end prematurely. If the Nalan clan wanted to obtain any more Tier 3 divine weapons or pills from Nalan Fei, they would naturally have no hope of doing so. Damn it, that Yan Huang, who exactly is he? Rashly intervening in the battle between Hunyuan Heaven sect's true disciples, isn't he afraid of being hated by Hunyuan Heaven sect's true disciples? Nalan Sheng angrily scolded. Nalan Fei stood up. Everyone, I have something to attend to, so I'll take my leave first. As for the elders, if you're willing to continue guarding the Zhua family, I, Nalan Fei, am willing to accept this favor. If you want to leave, I, Nalan Fei, will not force you. In short, if you get into trouble in the future, just don't drag me, Nalan Fei, into it. With that, she no longer spoke to Nalan Xing, Nalan Feng, and Nalan Hong. Under their somewhat awkward gazes, she quickly left the hall and headed towards Tsinghui's courtyard. Tsinghui and Yan Huang had just returned and were about to discuss something when Yan Huang seemed to have received some news. He hurriedly said, Gongzi, please wait for a moment. There's news from the Jin Wu religion. With that, he quickly sent a portion of his spirit into the primal chaos temple. The Jin Wu religion. Tsing Hui urgently needed to obtain the Great Sun Golden Crow technique and cultivate the Golden Crow Qi. Only after cultivating the Golden Crow Qi could he continue to cultivate the Sun Torch Sutra and condense Gang Qi. Otherwise, his cultivation realm would face the danger of stagnation. Although he had received news of the teleportation technique, he could not guarantee that the teleportation technique had the ability to teleport him to Earth. Therefore, he could not relax his goal of cultivating to the shattering vacuum realm in 10 years. Under such circumstances, the sooner he obtained the Great Sun Golden Crow technique, the better. Yan Huang did not let Tsing Hui wait for too long. Not long after, he said with a happy face, "Gongzi, I just received news from Tianwen. In order to cultivate the 6 elements true fire, Lai Wuyang of the Jin Wu religion will most likely collect the underwater fire formed by the volcanic eruption in Long Luo Bay in half a month. Although Long Luo Bay is a sea close to the mainland, strictly speaking, it belongs to the overseas forces. Moreover, this sea area is the territory of the Qiankuan Holy Land. The Jin Wu religion can't reach it. If Gongzi really wants to make a move, that would be the best place." Lai Wuyang? I remember that she has the 3rd layer of the Great Sun Golden Crow technique? Yes, the 6 elements true fire that Lai Wuyang cultivates is a top-notch flame essence. If she can really cultivate this type of true fire, she only needs to fuse it with the Golden Crow's bloodline when breaking through to the spirit refining realm and let the Golden Crow's bloodline consume it. There is a high chance that she can cultivate the divine grade Golden Crow Qi in one go. Good, pay attention to her movements. She will cultivate the Great Sun Golden Crow technique. Yan Huang said. Just as he was about to divert his attention back to the Primal Chaos Temple, Nailan Fei, who had received news that Tsing Hui and Yan Huang had killed the 6 spirit refining realm experts, rushed over. "Tsing Hui, Sire Yan Huang." "Miss Nailan." Tsing Hui and Yan Huang stood up and nodded at her. "I have heard the news. It seems that I have underestimated Sire Yan Huang. With Sire Yan Huang here, you will not dare to act rashly." Nailan Fei smiled. Yan Huang nodded, Yu's strength is limited. As long as she retains her rationality, she should be able to understand that continuing to fight against us will only cause her losses to be even greater. Nailan Fei nodded. "We plan to wait here for 3 days and see Yu's reaction. If there is no movement from Yu after 3 days, we plan to make a trip to the sea." "Go to the sea?" Tsing Hui nodded. "My sword has been destroyed and I need to forge a new one. Coincidentally, Yan Huang Island has some good materials for forging swords. We plan to find those materials." The siege Nailan Fei nodded slightly. "With me protecting the Zhuo family, there won't be any problems. Now that you've appeared, Yu's attention will definitely shift to you. If you go to other places, it will be somewhat dangerous, but if you go to the sea, you may not have the courage to chase after you. After all, apart from the elite true disciples, ordinary people will only become prey if they go to the sea." Tsing Hui nodded. In the end, he pondered for a moment before saying, "Auntie, since you have Tian Qiong's background, after this matter is resolved, you should bring all the Zhuo family's direct members to the Hunyuan Heaven sect. As for the branch family members, I feel that there is no need to waste too much energy on them. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.